go, let it go. Lord, help me let it go. Help me let it go. Yeah, let it go. Yeah, let it go. Help me let it go. Master Jesus, let it go. Help me let it go. Go, 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 go. Go, let it go. I'm tired, let it go. Give it all to Jesus. Let him take control. Just sit and worship. I know it hurts you, and I know it's painful. No way to wait till you have to let it go. Your best friend is not your secret enemies. Let it go. Your wife is getting married to another man. Your husband are falling in love with another woman. Don't let it bother you. I've said let it go. If someone overlook you because you live in zero, if they insult you because you don't have nobody, if you say you will continue to be a zogo, if you say you will continue to be a prostitute, if you say you will continue to be a beggar, you will not marry, you will not bear your own children. If you say your need is borrow, some they go to meeting, mommy can say no, Johnny Ginger. Just let it go. Jesus will change your story. Let it go. 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 Lord, help me let it go. Help me let it go, man.
Yeah. Mighty blow. Holla, holla. Nobody do it like you do it, you a true God. Yes. You always hear me when I say my prayer with few words. But Jenna said, if they plenty in this new world, read the power every day, now while I'm still a good boy. Jehovah bigger than your problem, so just let it go. Just keep on praying, he will make your blessing overflow. To be the best and more the rest, you gotta pray more. The God of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, the God of mighty blow. But there is power in your blood, now while I'm giving praises. Yes. I gotta dance and David dance, they think I'm getting crazy. But love is how you make it better, may not be easy. Every time I sing, I'm on my knees, begging God for mercy.
All right, folks, we want to welcome you to this edition of Liberia Public Radio Freedom Watch. And so we are here again, as usual, to bring you news, information, and entertainment. Very shortly, we're going to get this program going here, right here. My analysts, they are standing by. And so we're going to be here very shortly to get this program. In the meantime, let it go, and let's see how many of us can let it go.
Let it go, let it go, oh, let it go, let it go. Lord, help me, let it go. Your people are suffering, lying in the hospital, suffering for all kinds of sickness, Lord. Lord, help them. That sickness that bothering you, I say, let it go. The barrenness, pack your load and go. Living the life of joblessness.
Okay,
I say you spread
let's see here. Very shortly, let's get this program going here. That's the voice of Minister Jemima Walker fitting away right here on the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. I'm Afonso Z, and so right here, beautiful Sunday afternoon. Time check here in the East Coast is 3:14 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe, whatever you are, and we say happy 4th. Guess what? It's an Independence Day to visit great nations where we have been blessed to get our food on the table and also providing food for others on the table. Lady T, we say happy July 4th. Thank you for joining us and not forgetting to our man Yusuf in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Yusuf, hopefully you are doing great and everything is going on fine. Just hit the share button for us, possibly you can, so that we can have a conversation. And we hope to be going to Bangat, Bon County, where our correspondent is standing by, hopefully, to get some little Thai development. How is the situation? And we are all hoping and praying to let it go. Professor is standing by, hopefully, the Liberal Progressive and Amos George. They're all going to be here, best of team political commentators and analysts of the Liberia Public Radio. We want to say a happy 4th to all our folks inside Liberia and even right here, including our follower. Let's see here. Let's see if we can get our man Nathan is standing by in Bangat, Bon County. If possible to get him here quickly here. Let me just bring in the professor first to greet him. And I also and see how things look like. How is the 4th weekend? There you see him is Professor Ase Labo Zawlo, educator and involved in multitudes of roads. Professor, good afternoon and welcome.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. So, and happy 4th of July.
Same to you. Yeah, we have to be grateful to this nation. Yeah, they get us to be doing what we are doing, and to even wake up and put food on people's table. So we have to be gracious to that. What you had today for 4th?
Well, no. Well, we ate some cabbage, and I'm just sitting home chilling. And
man,
you know, times like these, I get immersed into math. I get away from politics. So I was practicing some abstract algebra today, and just stretching my brains a little bit more.
I can see the ball behind you there. It speaks volume. It's like exactly. I would say thank you so much for things that you do. It's unfortunate people who don't know people, and sometimes this sort of judgment is rendered on people that is so. But again, we can't blame them. That's the diversity of society. You gotta. In the absence of those people, the society is incomplete. So believe me or not, we got to have them. Okay, let's see here. I'm trying to see if we can get our guy from Banga Bon County. Let's see here. Let me see here. Hopefully the service will do us well. Nathan, let's hear the latest coming from Banga there. Let's see. Hopefully the line. Okay, I think the phone is ringing. Let's see if we can have Nathan here quickly to give us run through what's happening in Bangat, Republic of Liberia. Good evening, Nathan. Are you there? Nathan, are you there?
Yeah, man, there. Hello?
Yeah, okay, good. All right, you're already on air. Good evening. How are you?
I'm okay.
Okay, good. All right. How is the set? Are you hearing me, Nathan? Nathan?
Hello?
Are you hearing me or not?
Hello?
Nathan, are you not hearing me?
Yeah, I'm getting you.
Yeah, okay. Do you have to change your position, or if you are not getting me, let's get strictly to the issue. Okay. So let me hear from you. What's going on in Banga there?
No, I'm getting you.
Okay, let's go ahead quickly. Let's hear from you. What's the latest on the COVID that you can tell us in Banga, Bon County?
Yeah, Banga. Yeah, Banga.
All right.
Where the Banga is relatively can last the third wave of the. Are you getting me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello?
Go ahead. I'm hearing you.
Yeah, like I stick that Banga is relatively calm unless the issue of the third wave of the virus, where Bon County have 50 cases currently, with 11 recoveries and with 8 there so far, and people are taking the necessary preventive measure when it comes to the third wave of the coronavirus because it's very deadly according to health authority. The country health team, all those panel are making sure that citizens can do different rules in order to keep them safe or to stop the further spread of the virus. And we visit some of the public areas like the administrative buildings, some of the public school students are heading to the preventive measures when it comes to the virus because according to the Ministry of Education, the 10th of this month from grade 3 to nursery, they're going to close school. So the annual session will not be effective because they want the kids will not know how to take care of the how to wear the nose mask and all those things. So according to the Ministry of Education, they're going to shut to close from grade 3 to nurture the division of the school across the country. And they also said that some of those public areas like the market desks are also wearing the issue of the nose mask and they also washing their hands on a daily basis. Unless now, but in the last month of June, we experienced a lot of high cases, but we say now we have 11 recoveries and 8 there, all of the 50 cases in Bon County. And the Bon County police detachment also working alongside with the Bon County health team, making sure that people can follow those different rules in order to follow stop the to stop the follow spread of this killer disease in the county. And some of the rules like or the protocol from all of the entertainment center from 6 to 9 o'clock, all those entertainment centers should be shut down because after 9 o'clock you're going to be fine according to the Ministry of Health and all up under um,
Oh, okay.
yeah. Are
So
you
yeah, I'm hearing
yeah
you. I'm hearing you. Do they have a
yeah
current? Listen now. Do they have a quarantine center in the meantime in Banga there?
Yeah, they have the quarantine center at the Phoebe Hospital, while the Bon County Health Team is located there. They have the quarantine center there in the treatment unit as well. People, some of the patients that contracted the virus are also there undergoing some treatment, and the Bon County Health Team they charge 11% like fully recovered from the virus, and some people are also there benefiting or getting from treatment from the treatment center there at the Bon County Health Team at Phoebe Hospital there in Bon County.
Oh, okay. So what I'm hearing from you, the health team is jointly working with the county authorities to make sure that the law enforcement aspect that people wear masks. Are they cooperating?
Yeah, exactly. The police are also cooperating, and on Wednesday they have a press conference where they said they're going to enforce a law that people, even the cyclists, some of the measures they put in place are even the taxi driver still at the back, uh, plus the driver make them 4 person, and then the cyclist, the one passenger plus the driver two, and the passenger should have nose mask as well as the driver. Some of those things because if you don't have, they might be going to charge you for the 200 United States dollar, or you going jail for 30 days. That was the punishment attached to it for who be violators that will not go back. Those different measures that the Ministry of Health and all of stakeholders put in place, all of to stop the follow spread of it deadly disease in the country.
So from what I'm hearing from you, the last time around, the notion or the belief that there was no virus, as a citizen realized specifically, let me go to Bon County since you are speaking from there. Have they realized that indeed the virus is existing? The virus is there. Have they agreed to that? Have they agreed to that?
Yes, some of them have agreed that the virus existing, but always in the case you have people who still being the stick for denying, but for the third wave of the virus, people are very careful. People are being several because everywhere I go, I was people wearing
Okay.
masks, and you see washing bucket people doing one or two. Yeah, yeah.
All right. So, Nathan, thank you so much. We keep following what is going on, not only in Bond County, other parts of the country as much as possible we can, just to get an insight. And hopefully, maybe we'll try to do some sort of live streaming from there so that the people going to get a sense of uh, what is happening there. Is there anything you want to say before we let you go? Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, let me come back here. We also have Dr. Rockefeller Cooper is currently in Liberia visiting. He's going to be joining us here. He's already backstage. Let me just bring in, so we're going to get a take as here. But the team, the best of my political team, they are all here. The Liberal Progressive, Samson Blaku Branto. I have a Professor, I got a classified document here this afternoon. Yeah, I don't think the Liberal want me to play that here. Let's see what are you going to have. Okay, let's see here. We have Dr. Rockefeller here too. Cooper here is currently in Liberia. Welcome to this forum. Thank you for making way to be part of here, guys. Happy 4th day, even though you are in Liberia, but we say happy 4th to you visiting on that end. How are you?
Yes, I'm fine. I'm fine, and thanks for having me.
Okay, good. All right, the Liberals and all of the rest of the folks. Yeah, we are. That's the beauty of LPR. We always make that room. Hopefully, by George and we don't want to come in here. So let's get it going here. Professor, before and the Liberal that before you just came in, we heard our guy reporting from Banga. It seems to be the narrative a couple of months back that the notion the virus was inexisting, there was no virus. But I think people have come to realize, it may not be everybody, but for the most part, people have come to realize that the virus is in Liberia. How huge is this?
Yeah, I think that people are aware. Are you talking about Dr. Cooper? Or you
no, you can go ahead and I'll bring Dr. Cooper.
I think the fact of the matter, the truth of the matter is that the information is spreading, so fast, and the people are coming into realization. There's denial is fading away that the virus is indeed present, and it is more virulent than the previous version that we saw in the first wave. I think the challenge we have is to change the mindset about the vaccination. There's still lack of information when it comes to the vaccination. The Ministry of Health and Enfield have not done a sufficiently good job in communicating to the people the importance of the vaccination, the side effect, but also they haven't been able to communicate to the people that one of the most effective ways of dealing with this virus is having people vaccinated.
Okay.
There's a lot of confusion still in the country when it comes to the vaccination aspect.
Okay, a lot of information needed. Let me go to the Republic of Liberia, where Dr. Cooper is standing by, currently visiting. Dad, thank you for coming in here. You've been in Liberia. My son is saying to ask you, what are you doing there? What have you gone to do, and what have you? But let me just ask you, you are a professional person, you're on ground now. What are you gathering with respect to this virus here? What are you gathering? The measures put in place? What is your own opinions and view on that?
Yeah, okay. So now before I even begin, I'm having internet issues. So at times I may ask you to repeat,
okay,
or I may have to, to repeat in terms of the question. I may repeat myself. But I believe if I understood you correctly, basically you're trying to get my perception of things on ground. Is that correct?
Yes, Dad. Yes.
Okay. So I've been here for basically a week now, and my perception is one, people are not taking the coronavirus issue to be serious. And that is because they've not also been afforded the platform to appreciate the seriousness which is attached to the possibility of being infected by the coronavirus, alpha versus even the delta.
Oh, Liberia internet. Here we go.
Mm-hmm. Are you there?
Yeah, we're hearing you. Yeah, go ahead.
Can you hear me? Yes. Okay. So basically, from my I've been interacting with people through all walks of life or through basic walks of life, and one of the challenges here is that people, including healthcare workers, are reluctant to take the vaccine simply because they do not believe that the vaccine, taking or acquiring the vaccine is going to be in the best interest. To the contrary, they see it as being detrimental to their healthcare. So with that stigma in place, we are up for we have not set ourselves up for an uphill battle as far as confronting and possibly combating the infectious rate of the coronavirus. And this is because during my further investigation, because before I continue, one of the reasons as to why I came to Liberia primarily is to study the whole coronavirus situation in Liberia and to compare with my experience of dealing with individuals who have, basically who were confronted by the coronavirus. So, and in my analysis, of course, there are issues that we need to confront first and foremost. One of the reasons why Liberia is going to have a problem in meeting the overcoming threshold is because of three major factors: poverty, ignorance, and lack of commitment. So let's go ahead and talk about those three components. Poverty as it relates to the economical challenges. Ignorance because, like I said earlier, people are not yet in the position to appreciate the concepts behind the infectious rate, what coronavirus is, and the impact that it has on us as a people. And then, of course, because of the ignorance and the economical challenges, people are not willing to commit to the process. Okay, as in preventive measures, which of course would be the the vaccines, or even the use of PPEs, in this case, the masks. Okay, because of that, there's serious challenge. I mean, I've been through basically the principal streets, and people are not wearing the mask, or in fact, the mask is being, is not being used properly. Also, the protocols that have been put in place, given the Liberian society, looking at it from this current standpoint, are not, they need to be enhanced. Washing hands, staying apart 3 feet, as well as social distance, wearing masks, washing hands. That's not going to cut it. And the reason it's not going to cut it is as follows. One, we are now, for example, in the rainy season. The economical challenges will force people to go out. Therefore, social distancing is going to be a bit of a challenge. And there are subcomponents as well. For example, if you want taxi drivers to take passengers at a minimum number, okay, per trip wherever they are going, or as in occupancy as a whole, you must now address the cost of gasoline. Okay, because if not, those drivers will be operating at a loss. And I think we can all say here from a common sense standpoint of view that drivers are not going to commit to that process. Hence, the lack of commitment.
Okay,
people are also.
I want you to hold on that a little bit.
I'm sorry.
Are you hearing me? Are you hearing me?
Can you repeat the question?
No, I want you to hold on a little bit. I want us to have a little conversation on these things that you have. My analysts, they are all here. Are you getting me? Well,
Yes, the internet is bad.
Yeah,
I don't know, for some reason I'm even on Wi-Fi, but still I'm having a bit of a challenge.
Yeah. Okay, let me ask, are you hearing me now?
Yes, it's a little better.
Okay.
If it will last, I can say.
Okay. So, gentlemen, don't hesitate, both of you, the liberal, Professor George. Also, you can jump into this. We want to welcome our viewers, Mr. Williams from the Accra, Ghana. You talked about you talk about the enhancements of communication. Who should be doing that? Oh my goodness, he's disconnected. Okay, let's come to these guys here. Basically, you are here in Liberata, you are listening to him. Pa George, you came in, but I know you got some little pieces of what he was saying. Okay, I think he's back. Let's see here. Okay, are you hearing me, Da?
Yes, I'm getting you. It's just that, you know, I don't know, for some reason the internet is.
Yeah, that's the last thing of Liberia. You were talking about and you outline really key points or components to also fight this coronavirus, because, you know, looking at the season and the economic situation,
Well,
that's a portion.
Well, let me ask you this: is it possible that we can convert this to a telephone where I can just call in and talk?
Yeah. Okay. I will give you the. Yeah. Let me do that. Let me just give you the. Let me send you my number.
Yeah, via WhatsApp.
Yeah. Let me send you my WhatsApp number.
That's right. That's better.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
I'm sending you the WhatsApp number. All right. I think that would make sense. Okay. Let's do it that way. I'm sending the number to you. Let me just come to the guys here. Okay, gentlemen. Professor Deliberate and Pa George, I think he took a different side of this whole fighting of these COVID things that could potentially could stop or hamper or factor into enforcing some of the laws. I think those are critical points. Somebody hungry, you can't tell them stay home. Yeah. You gotta go out to go find food.
Yeah, happy July 4th to everybody.
Same to you, Pa George.
Look, I listen to him.
In Nigeria, he wouldn't go out for food. He doesn't believe in food.
Who's that?
Pa George. And the Liberal Progressive wouldn't eat. The progressive people don't have to eat.
What? Yeah, but I would be my GB right in my yard. I would be a GB there. Go and get something. Look, what the guy was saying yesterday, I listened to two doctors from the COVID center in Monrovia. They expressed some sentiment about the same thing here. And here's the problem. We are caught in a rock and a hard place. To tell people to stay home in Liberia, right now, I can tell anybody that is not practical. It's not practical. I mean, what kind of government in power? It's not practical. When people have to go out on a daily basis, what they call the hustle, to go back before people can eat, the family can sometimes eat. And if you're telling people to lock down, that is not just practical. That'll be realistic. I think what need to be done is continuing education. Like I was listening to the doctor yesterday, he said something that they're trying to talk to people, clinics, that when people go there with these symptoms, malaria, headache, cold, having cold, and then coughing, those cases should be referred immediately to the hospital. Because he's saying that the earlier they catch those cases, the chance of the people surviving is okay. But when it is late already, by the time they arrive at the center.
Yeah, but okay, on that part here too, let's loosen the bolts here a little bit, Pa George here. If I'm in a house and I'm sick, and I don't even realize, I don't want to realize or recognize that I'm sick, it is a COVID or whatever it is. The only person that can determine my illness is who? Is the doctor. But I'm in denial. My entire household is in denial. Nobody's willing to call anybody. That itself is another obstacle.
Yeah, but
go to the liberal.
Yeah, that's where the education come in. It's not something you just say that I'm talking one time and you put out this, I'm tired. It's a continuing process, because why? You have some people in government Who telling people that this is not real? And if it happens, you're going to die 2 years. So you also got the other side. So you're fighting. So the thing here is education, testing. These are the factors. I mean, you can use the word our people. I don't want to go down on that. Our people are ignorant. I don't want to go down that route. I think I would choose a different word. But this thing has to do with education, testing.
Yeah. Okay.
It's real.
Okay. Let me see him. He calling. Let's see here. Hopefully we can. Okay, Dai, are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Okay.
And it's a whole lot better.
Yeah. Okay. Much better. I thank you. We're going to be switching between the audio and the video because when my guys have questions too, we're going to be coming to you. Okay. So go ahead. We want to welcome Peter to Versus. I say watching from Banga. Thank you so much for all of you that are taking time to be part of this conversation. This is the sort of conversation outreach we want to have. Okay, yeah, Dr. Copper, go ahead.
Yes. So as I was saying, there are challenges here where people are not adhering to the COVID, the COVID virus. The COVID infection protocols that have been put in place to confront the disease or the rate of infection, which needs to be suppressed. And so there are shortcomings from both ends. Okay, the protocol itself that's been put in place by the government needs to be enhanced. So just relying on social distancing by 3 feet, the washing of hands, as well as the wearing of facial masks would not be enough to suffice as far as accomplishing, confronting the disease. I've interacted with people, like I said earlier, which I'm just going to repeat for the sake of, the bad connection, just in case some of my words didn't go through. Even healthcare workers, I've interacted with a lot of them, and they themselves do not believe in, acquiring the vaccines. Reason being is, the mindset. They feel that it is detrimental to the health as opposed to being a boost to the immune system. So, we have challenges here in the country. As a matter of fact, the U.S. Surgeon General today posted how those who are unvaccinated are going to get infected at a higher rate than we saw with the first and second wave, all of the previous variants. So, I think the healthcare system needs to do something. Now, one thing I noticed also is that there's no pharmacological intervention as far as preventing the widespread of the COVID disease. And by that, we must look at the consumption of vitamins. People are not taking vitamins, just relying on masks. So already the immune system is not being boosted as one like myself would anticipate in seeing within the Liberian society as of date. So these are some of the challenges that I have stumbled upon thus far, and I think that if these areas of concerns are not met vigilantly, we are going to be doomed.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Let me go back to my guys here. Gentlemen, you listen to it. Let's do it one at a time here. Liberal, let me just bring you in here. I see you taking notes. What are you gathering and what are you hearing from the dad that we have not heard before?
Thank you, Mr. So, for having me. Mr. George, Professor, and a good doc. Good evening to all of you. I think these type of conversation, these discussion must be done in area of free of politics, to be honest with you, because I think these particular situation, we're all in it together. It's not one person. In fact, this is not like the war, because the war people were fighting the defense section of their people and whatever it is. But this is not. The virus has no color. The virus has no army uniform. So the virus is not coming from a particular party or what have you. It's coming from Liberians. And I think we have to do what we can. Whatever area that perhaps you have some influence, you must express yourself in that area. If, for example, if you have the ability to speak to your people, you do so. If you have the ability to speak to government officials and point out some of the things that they need to do in order for us to move this thing forward, let's do it together. Opposition, ruling party, everyone have to come together. Look, Mr. So just from July 1st, and this is coming from the National Health Institute, Bond County confirmed cases. Just July 1st, Bond County 45. Okay, bombing 45, Bond County 95, Buffalo 38, Grand Bassa 84, confirmed cases. Okay, Grand Cape Mount 47, Grand Gita 17. So there's no county that is left. If you go down all the way, okay, Moserado County, 3,699 confirmed cases. Death, in terms of death, this is coming from July 1st information. Death bombing 1, Bond County 8, Buffalo 2, Grand Bassa 1, Grand Cape Mount 0, Grand Gita 0, Grand Cruz 0. Lofa here has 11. And once again, go back to Moserado County, 82. Nima, 15. So these things are going from place to place because why? I believe, and I'm not a medical practitioner, so I'm not speaking from that perspective, but the fact that we hear it and we know that there's no hospital to cater to these people in terms of beds and what have you. So first thing, what I think we all need to do is to heavily concentrate on the aspect of education. I know perhaps people will say, well, it's too late. But no, let's make it clear to our brothers and sisters the importance of having a social distance, the importance of wearing the mask, because this is the disease that can only help you if you put on mask and have a social distance and things like that. Like you correctly stated, or Mr. Joyce correctly stated, you're not going to be able to have a separation, okay, to say, well, people need to lock down. The way these things are being implemented in Liberia, that's perhaps, for me now, that's perhaps it's the wrong situation where you have the security apparatus wants to be the head of everything, and people walk around, they're going to catch you and put you in jail. This is not going to solve the issue. If the people are you point to the people, what the effect would be. If you don't do X, Y, and Z, this is what's going to be your result. Nobody wants to die, whether hungry or not. Once the people can see that if you do X, Y, and Z, don't protect yourself, this is going to be the end result. And it must be genuine. You can't come out of this here because you run politics. All the people lying. All of the government officials are making these kinds of statements. They need to be talked to by the president and everyone else. So this is very serious business.
All right. What we'll do, since that we're not keeping for the long years, let's see what we can get out of him, and then we can.
Can I ask that? Can I ask that question?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think that talk about a lot of the things he saw. He labeled a lot of the problems, and he was talking about the methodology of combating this is not working. Can you share with us some of his possible recommendations for handling the situation as it is right now?
Okay. All right. So, Dr. Kopo, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. I guess you got the question. Now, you tell us the shortfalls and things that are not happening now. Professor is asking, who knows, the president is listening right now. Oh, we have a son of Liberia is currently visiting. He wants to know what could be some of the recommendation from your professional standpoint that could be put into place or measures to kind of like curtail this ongoing virus situation. What will you say?
Okay, so my recommendations are going to come from two perspectives. Now, I'm more on the forensic end of things, so I'm going to be speaking from the ante-mortem as well as the post-mortem, meaning what do we do whilst we're alive, and also what needs to be done with people who died suspiciously of COVID-19. And you will soon understand why that is also very important. Now, First of all, as we all know, it's commonly said that prevention is better than cure. The public needs to be educated through radio, through, let me just say, through the media outlets as to how important it is to be vaccinated. Once you're vaccinated, it lessens your chances significantly of being infected by the coronavirus. Okay? Also, people must so I was speaking like I said on one of the radio stations sometime early last week. There needs to be the implementation of what I refer to as ISIS, ISIS, which is the immune system implementation support. That needs to be put in place. And with that, we look at the consumption of vitamin C, B complex, and zinc. That is, I'm dosing myself daily. That's something that I've been doing from the time this, this whole Corona thing started. And to be honest with you, I rely on it more than the mask. Why? Because I'm establishing that frontier from within as it relates to my immune system. Now, let me take another step. When we look at the pharmacological implication of what I just said, one must appreciate the consumption of vitamins. Why? Because vitamin C has an impact on RNA-dependent viruses, and the coronavirus is or happens to be an RNA virus. So the more to the story is there are two types of viruses, or two classes. You got your DNA viruses and you have your RNA. So by taking your vitamin C, I can confidently, assure people that you are putting yourself on the safer end of things as opposed to having yourself subjected to being infected. I'm not saying that you should eat. Once again, I'm not saying anywhere that would be an option for not being vaccinated. The people must be educated. The reason why we are giving vaccines is to trigger the body through the immune system to produce a blueprint to basically confront whatever disease that the vaccine was meant to address. Let me go ahead and explain that. For example, if I went ahead and got vaccinated for virus X, the more behind that story is I will be given a weak form of virus X. And what happens is my body sees that weak form of the virus as a foreign agent, and it puts in a defense mechanism so that the next time I get infected by virus X, guess what? My body now has the methodology in place to fight. That's why we are given the COVID vaccine, so that when you actually get exposed and infected, your body now has a blueprint in place. But it is messages like these that that the people, the ordinary John Brown and Mary Jo are not receiving, and because of that, they are basically, they have no plans of being vaccinated.
Okay, so let me hold you a little bit. I'll be going to the guys. Ask a question here. So what is the real possible option now? They should be testing, because that was the common word was often heard from Dr. Fauci here. And I agree with you, because I listened to the Surgeon General yesterday, Murphy, and he was saying, hey, people who even got the first dose and you think you're getting the first dose cannot even help you. You have to be fully vaccinated. So I don't know, those two must go together simultaneously. Should the testing be put in place at the same time people being vaccinated? Is that what needed right now in Liberia?
Well, this is what I would say. Given the nature of the Liberian society, we must approach things strategically. What needs to happen first and foremost is vaccination needs to take place. in addition to that, and the reason why I'm saying in addition to it, because I know that there are challenges in the country, and so it's going to take time to have all these batches brought into the country. But then the people must be encouraged. There must be the launching of a vitamin, what I would refer to as, a state of hypervitaminosity. So we want to increase the consumption of vitamins by people, so that the immune, at least to raise the immune system.
Okay, hold on. I know you are a medical person, but why would the people can't even answer? Because my guys, they are kind of freaking out there. So hold on 1 second. Let me bring them into this picture here. Okay, vitamin, Pat George. I saw your hairs walking here and there. What's wrong with taking vitamin?
No, there's nothing. I'm not a medical expert. There's nothing wrong with taking vitamin. But what I'm concerned with, and maybe the guy will comment on it for this, is that one, he talks about the hesitancy of people in Liberia not taking vaccine and ignorance. And I know, I live in the South, Georgia. The people in Georgia, I think Georgia, 34% has been vaccinated. 34% of people in Georgia.
34?
Yeah, 34% fully vaccinated. If I'm mistaken, it's not even 50, 45. No. So imagine people in this country, they are in denial with all the educational tools we have here and the death toll that occur here. They are in denial.
They are passing the journey to the vaccine. Your lamp frozen. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Let me get him. Okay.
He put in bon kind of business. That why.
Yeah, and in Liberia, the same thing goes, because when people listen to cable news, the internet, all these things flying around, and people are taking hold of those things because when it's coming from other people that they trust. So, the question here is, you don't think it is required of every Liberian now to try to launch a massive campaign of education and telling these people that this is not real? And the second one, this vitamin, you're stressing on vitamin. The vitamin and the testing, which one should be priority right now for government? Because vitamin people have to go to buy this vitamin. I don't know what everybody
who's going to buy it. Another question, right?
Yes. The economic side is that, can everybody afford these vitamins? What I would want to know from that, why we cannot stress on testing, because I think that will give people the medical practitioner earlier time of catching some of these diseases and confining people to area that will help them not to spread this thing. You don't think will be a way to go? Instead of, I understand you're stressing the vitamin. I don't know much about any medicine, but I just want to know from you.
Let's make it brief as possible so that we'll do it. Professor, do you have any follow-up question? The liberal, any of you? Then I'll switch to him.
Well, the only thing that I have to say on this, Mr. Saul, it's not a question, but it's a concern. If you heard the good doctor saying here how the vaccine comes about. Now, if you're saying to a Liberian that we have a vaccine that is made out of the virus, and we will inject you with that virus, hoping that your body will respond, Mr. So, I don't think anybody in total will take that medicine. But the second most important thing is, what do you do to our people? Do you lie to them, or you want to be true? This is a very difficult thing to deal with, especially the good doctor and even those in a government position that have the ability to run, talk to people. How do you deal with these kinds of stuff? That's the kind of concern that I have.
Professor.
Yeah,
it's like one planting his firing squad. But don't worry, just go on the pole there. We're going to fire this bullet, but this bullet will not kill you. It's a light bullet. It's not. I mean, it's a rubber bullet. Is that the case? What you found out too? What? Okay, yeah. We're going to go to the guy in a minute.
I think I should put a Liver Progressive on my back, along with Mr. George. I think they hit the nail on the head. We got to be very careful as we try to help. Because sometimes the way we present the help can even undermine our good intentions. We have to be very careful how we communicate, how we communicate the importance of vaccination. And I think Liberal Progressive alluded to that. I want to say this. Look, I listened to the doc, and I think he's been there. He's on the ground. He has more information than I have. But I think the point where we are today, I think we must stress two things. One, there has to be mandatory vaccination of healthcare workers first.
Mandatory?
Yeah.
To force people to take it?
But then they don't have to take it. They can stay home, and then you don't have to be fired. They can just stay home. And those who can take. No, I'm serious, because you want to make sure that those who are treating other people are not infecting the people who cannot potentially infect other people. So you want to make sure that they are vaccinated. Then you begin to target vaccination based on age. Based on experience we have in the United States, children may get infected, but they are less likely to get seriously ill or die from it.
Mm-hmm.
So we begin to go down the line and like that, and then begin to vaccinate people. The doctor talk about vitamins. Vitamins is very important, but I wanted to ask him, can he provide? Natural sources of what the vitamin gave, and then natural sources we get them from. Can he give the public, some, suggestion? Do we get it from plums? Do we get it from oranges? Do we get it from things? Because you guys made a very important point: the economics. You can't find food to eat. Now you're talking about getting vaccination. You got to buy it. It's not free. I don't think government has the means of, bringing in a huge quantity of vaccination vitamins right now all across the country. I don't see that happening. I mean, they took them 1 year to start the distribution of rice.
All right, let me go to him. I know he's taking note here. Okay, Da, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so we have to be switching here and there. Okay, you heard the Liberal here. Okay, this vaccine I want to be giving you here is out of how do you interpret that?
Okay, so we'll say that again. Repeat your question.
He was asking, based on your explanation that you provided, these vaccines that we are giving here, these were origin from the virus, but we're going to give it to you so that it will make your system. So is that how we're going to tell the people? How do we interpret that?
Well, okay, here's the interpretation. So obviously, you know that, I mean, those born in Liberia, we were vaccinated against, like, for example, like we took our TB shots and every other shot you can think about. The vaccine is the weakened form of the disease. It is not about let's give it to you and see if, in quotation, if your body will respond and produce an immunity. No. Anything that happens, that's one of the reasons why, for example, you get cut by, if you are walking and you got cut by a rusted nail, you went to the hospital, you got a tetanus shot. Okay, that's for example, because the pathogen is in your system, and by pathogen, from a medical standpoint, that's why those are disease-causing organisms. So there has to be an aggressive method put in place to address the effects of being infected. Now, it doesn't matter if it's the coronavirus, if it's the Picona virus or the Toga. These are just other viruses in the same class of the corona. Okay, and because a vaccine is only derived from the agent. So you're giving you're giving the weak form so that your body will trigger your immune system. I, for one, I mean, also, with regards to the whole vaccine thing, I didn't take my vaccine until most recently. Of course, I took it outside the country.
Why?
Okay. I'm sorry?
Why you didn't take that when you telling us, when you are encouraging, you want to encourage people to take the vaccine, so what was the hold up?
Well, the reason is, it takes time for vaccines to be produced. I'm going to be honest here. It takes time for vaccines to be produced. These vaccines, I felt, were produced acutely in all things considered. So I wanted to see exactly what was happening. Again, even though I took the vaccine, I took it basically just for formality. I didn't take the vaccine because I'm relying on it. I'm looking at the actual medication, as in vitamins in this case, which I was very specific. your vitamin C, your zinc, and your B complex. Okay, so I mean, I've been pumping 1,000 milligrams 2 times a day, at least on average. So, you know, because I know what vitamin C does to RNA viruses. You see, you must first and foremost understand the culprit. It's like pursuing a criminal. If you can read the play of the criminal and understand his modus operandi, then you'll be able now to basically bring your case to a conclusion. But everybody talking about coronavirus, but they don't even know what the coronavirus is. They don't understand how it works. They don't understand what needs to be done so that a reaction will be taken against, you know, the effects of the coronavirus. So, you know, basically because of that, there's panic. People are afraid, you know, of the coronavirus.
Do they have reason to be? Do they have reason to be afraid?
Yes, again, because based on ignorance also has a part to play in the level of fear.
Okay.
Okay, and I believe I believe that I've addressed that already. But let me go ahead again, because I told you this had to do with two folds as far as what needs to be done. Now, everybody that is dying, in my opinion, is not dying from the the coronavirus. You know, nowadays you go on social media, and I mean, it is almost a sad story. But the thing is, testing must be done. You see, back in the States, what we do is like I'm into forensic autopsy, so I perform COVID tests on the dead as well, doing post-mortem studies. Some people, what we have seen is that some people tested negative just because, and of course, don't get me wrong, people are afraid of this all over the place. The medical examiner office, if the death is not questionable, they're going to turn the case down. So but then families are in doubt as to whether or not the family members did indeed die from the coronavirus. And so because of that, they request private services as far as post-mortem death investigation. Some of these turn out positive, some of those turn out negatives. I mean, had negative results. Now, you must also understand that if you don't conduct a post-mortem study, you're going to raise panic, because not everybody that died or so, it seems to be that that's all you hear around town. If people are dying, the feet, everybody is dying from COVID-19. But what test was done to show that this person actually died from it?
Okay, so quickly here, before I go to my panelists here, in other words, if you were to add to your suggestions, every dead person in Liberia moving forward as of now, such a person should be tested what is a coronavirus. Is that correct? Is that what you would recommend?
No, not every dead person, but deaths that are being alluded to COVID-19 infection. And of course, like I said, those should be tested, because in as much as we have the COVID-19, people will still die from other causes. There will still be heart attacks. There will still be there will still be drug complications. There will still be issues, with diabetes and stuff. And what we've noticed back in the U.S. is that there's been issues, especially people with like hypertensive patients, diabetics. There's surrounding the whole COVID thing.
Okay,
so,
hold on. Yeah, quickly here.
Yes.
Let me switch to my folks here there, so we can get some onliners their input here. You will respond to that, but I will go to the guys then. Mr. Williams here is saying, Edward Williams, one of our viewers here, tweeting here, our government officials need to take the vaccine in public places so that it will serve as an example or awareness. I want you to hold on here, but let me just go to the guy. Pa George, I think you have some sort of dissatisfaction when the guy was explaining, correct?
Not dissatisfaction. Let me put it this way.
Or a different view.
Yeah, a couple of things. Put it down. He has placed more emphasis on this vitamin. And in America, he came from here. I'm wondering if there was if this was something a defensive a defense against this virus. Why the CDC did not put so much emphasis on this on vitamin? Instead of they were putting emphasis on testing, social distancing, wearing masks. Those were the things the CDC was stressing. Now, the second one is that Doc, the word you just used, that you had some hesitancy about the vaccine because the time was produced. That in essence, you put panic in the people back home. Because if you are a medical personnel and expressing that, the guy in Bunker, what do you think he would think? So you see, these are the issue. In America, all the medical experts were stressing vaccine and were taking it and encouraging people to take it. They stress, yes, the vaccine was produced in a short length of time, but because of scientific development we had done over the years, so we don't have to take 3 years or 4 years, 5 years to produce a vaccine. Even there's a black scientist, a black woman, who came on TV and said that she had been working on this vaccine because they expected something that would come out. So my question to you, your hesitancy and what you see on national or TV or radio, you don't think that helped to raise the doubt in backroom of the people?
Okay, hold on, and we'll give you the time to answer that. Professor, you seem to be stressing your hand on the back of Amos George with that question.
Yeah. I think I've listened to Dr. Cooper, and I have nothing but the utmost respect for him. But I think on his assertions here today, I think they are scary. I think that I don't think Liberia right now needs to be hearing what Dr. Cooper is saying. I don't think the people of the world need to be hearing this. He is enacting doubt. He, to some extent, I think, and I'm not sure. I think Doc has some interest in pushing the vaccine, the vitamin issue. And I think that is kind of affecting his presentation of what we need to be doing to move forward. Look, let me be short. If you take into consideration what happened in the United States here, let's list the things and the reason why today we can go to our gym and even take off our masks if we want to do so. It was testing, it was vaccination, it was observing those basic health protocols like social distancing and washing hands. Whilst people may have spoken about vitamins, those are the things that actually were able to use to keep the vaccination or to keep the coronavirus out of this place. So I agree with Doc, and I wish I find it unfortunate that Doc is in Liberia at this time, and I hope he's
Mr. George
across the country.
Professor and Mr. George, let me push back on you guys very strongly. The doctor, he's a medical professional. Let us all agree on that. And as we also saw here, there were other medical practitioners that were not on board with everything that was being said by CDC. So there are those who disagree with it. And the minister and the good doctor has he has the knowledge, and he's coming his hesitancy and whatever it is coming from a perspective of a medical background. Let us give him that. Now, the issue of him coming out, yeah, you might think that he is scary, but when do you become truthful? Do you expect a medical doctor to come and just sugarcoat the thing because he doesn't want to scare the people? Our people should be brave enough to understand what is happening. It's better to be truthful now to tell them what it is.
How do you know he's truthful?
No, Mr.
Wait a minute. He's truthful?
Guys, come in. Let me go back. Let me go to him. Let him respond to some of those questions here. Pat George raised a question. That he's more or less his emphasis is on vaccine instead of testing.
My question also, let me just ask this question. I will just come in and I will do that more once he leaves. Let me ask the doc a question also. My own question is, does it feel like the capacity in Liberia to deal with this virus, is he speaking from that perspective, or he's speaking from a perspective of a capacity here in the United States where he was able to deal with the virus effectively? So is he trying to perhaps transfer his way of here in the United States to that of Liberia, or there are two different things that perhaps we have to deal with differently?
Okay. All right. Dad, let me come back to you. There are a couple of concerns yet. One is talking about you more or less seems to be placing emphasis on vitamin instead of testing. And a professor said, hearing what he's hearing, is scary. That's not what people want to hear. And the liberal progressive on the other side in the North, I believe you heard all of what they have said. So let me come to you. Where are we, or where are they going wrong?
Okay, so yes, so let me go ahead and address it, which of course, I mean, I'm not surprised as to the concerns that have been laid forth. But you see, it was for this very same reason that I boarded a plane and came into Liberia, leaving my two kids behind, knowing the risk that is involved. Prior to my coming, I've been involved in almost 40 high-risk autopsies. And I just told you that that it was of late that I took the vaccine. And yes, I'm fully aware I'm human at the end of the day. I'm entitled to having my doubts, and my doubts or my decisions are solely to be to serve or to lay impact upon me and not to have impact on anyone else. Okay, from last year up to now, I've been doing autopsies. Obviously, I have not been ill. Why? Because I approach it pharmacologically. Before the vaccines came up, what were those of us who are wise enough and understand the pharmacology, we were on the rampage of taking our vitamins. Why would I want to expose myself to being infected by a virus which has no cure, by default, based on looking at the kind of work that I do? Okay, so as you think of that, let's move forward. The reason why you see in Liberia there's economical challenges, it's not like the vaccines are just available where you can just go and grab one and just take as if like you run across and buy your bottle of beer. No, the vaccines have to be imported. What are the Liberian people supposed to do? In other words, what is the contingency plan to be executed so that lives will be saved? If you, I can assure you, and I bet you 20 out of 5, if you do not add vitamins to your regimen and you want to rely only on the washing of hands, the use of mask, and social distancing, this country will plummet from a healthcare standpoint of view. The reason is because, as I mentioned earlier, when I was on video prior to getting on the phone, there are 3 cardinal points. There's poverty, there's ignorance, and there's lack of commitment. I'm here, I'm going through the principal streets on foot, I'm interacting with people, getting their opinion, and I just made it emphatically clear that even healthcare workers are not in favor of getting the vaccines due to fear. There's this stigma that Africa is being targeted. That African, there's an aim to eliminate Africans, and so and so many other stories. Based upon that, there must be a contingency plan put in place. If you are not going to wear your mask, all right, and that means that, one, you are subjecting yourself to contracting the disease, because again, the difference between your panel, Mr. So, and myself is I'm looking at this from a medical standpoint of view with regards to how you get infected or how the thing is contracted. You decide that you are going to cover only your mouth, or you're not going to wear any mask. Someone sneezes, somebody who is 5 feet away from you sneezes, it's possible that you're going to inhale the respiratory droplets. And if that person is infected, you are definitely going to get infected as well. People feel that, that this virus is also some kind of hoax. So that's another reason why they're not using the mask. Now, when we look at infectious disease, there are 2 components that we must take into consideration: a vector and a host. So who's carrying it, and where is this thing going to be residing where the widespread can continue? like I made mention of, this is the rainy season. People will continue to, they will congregate, do everything else that is inversely proportional to the protocols that have been set in place. So what I'm saying is, whilst we wait on the vaccine to come, which is just like manna from heaven, there must be a contingency plan. And I will continue to say vitamins, with specification on your vitamin C, simply because perhaps you did not hear me when I mentioned the exact reason why you must take vitamin C. Again, the coronavirus is an RNA virus. For those people out there who are not medically inclined, vitamin C has an impact. It's almost like you have pain in your body and you take ibuprofen. So the drugs have that's why you have different drugs. They all work differently for certain purposes. So the vitamin C, apart from boosting your immune system, also has an impact on RNA dependent viruses. So that means that your chances of being infected, in addition to social distancing, the use of masks, it's going to be low. But if you think that you're going to just push for testing, you're not going to survive the threshold, because again, the testing is not free. You can't just walk anywhere and just do testing. You see? So and again, when we talk about testing, the previous variant, I don't know for sure if it has been eliminated from Liberia, and if we are now only testing for the presumably only Delta variant. So when we say testing, we need to know exactly what are we saying here. And for me, I am not going to sugarcoat. So I'm telling you what I'm seeing on the streets. You see, I'm not just staying back in the US and then just making these comments based on assumption. I have my 2 feet planted on Liberian soil as we speak. Okay. And I came to do this so that I can see the differences and understand what is going on in the country at this point in time. So everything that I presented to you is as live as it's going to get.
Okay, before I go back here, there's a question coming from one of the onliners. It said, Dr. Rockefeller, do you trust those vaccines in Liberia? If yes, why take yours out of the country? And do you think Liberians would take the vaccines if they hear about you taking the vaccine out of the country? But Prince, first of all, he doesn't live there. He just go and visit there. So, but let me ask you the question here. Do you trust, and I don't even know yet, to be frank, where those vaccines in Liberia, where are they from? Have you heard anything, those vaccines in Liberia, which country gave that? Does it matter?
Well, you see,
does it matter?
That's what I was saying. I think there's the AstraZeneca. I think AstraZeneca is from the UK, if I'm not mistaken. So you see, people have these doubts. So that's what I'm saying. And a discussion needs to be held where, like, for example, let's go back to the US. When Joe Biden was getting his shot, it was televised. So that also encouraged a lot of people, because it's like, oh, the president of the nation is doing this. If he's taking the risk, let me, reconsider. So maybe that will somewhat, if prominent individuals were getting the shots with the ordinary Liberians, maybe it would trigger the mindset to think a little different. So, but I don't know where the vaccines are from.
Okay.
But I'm from, but again, vaccines are made specifically to confront specific pathogens or disease-causing organisms.
All right, let me go to the guys. Yes, gentlemen, are you there?
Yeah, I wanted to come quickly before he forgets, because we asked this question, he still hasn't answered it. We asked the question about, are there other sources of vitamin C, local sources, natural sources that he could recommend to the people?
Okay, I want you to go straight to the question here. Are there other supplements or other alternatives besides this here that you look at it, that you what should they be doing?
Well, yes. So vitamin C, you find it in fruits. So of course, if your oranges, pineapple or oranges, those citrus fruits, you have vitamin C in them as well. But the thing is, vitamin C can also be obtained from the pharmacies. I was in the pharmacy, one of the pharmacies.
The people don't even get the money to buy. That's the thing. That's because you got to put some. You have to put something in the system that the food, the system has to be.
Here is the case. Getting all your vitamins, you have to now ask yourself. You have to, in this case, pick your poison. Keeping the money to do, you can keep your money to buy your bag of rest, and you can die and leave the bag of rest sitting versus buying your vitamins. But on a very serious note, I went in the pharmacies myself. Vitamin C's are not, they're not expensive. In fact, they even have the vitamin C B complex combination. Okay, and so again, but even if we are to consider, getting these supplements from an economic standpoint, as in looking at the challenges involved, then maybe or perhaps the government could do something for its people. You see,
so we are like a bridge over before guys. We are given the opportunity to make a recommendation to national government, considering and knowing what you know. People how to get their daily meal. How they going to buy vitamin? I don't even know. Do you think somebody can afford leaving those days in me how we used to call our hamburger, our cassava, roasted cassava with coconut? Do you think that person who eat hot they will leave their cassava right there in the street and say, please give me vitamin C, because who know if I call it say COVID when it come, you're gonna fight. I mean, is that practical?
Well, here's the thing. So that is a choice. That is a choice that individuals will have to make. All I can say is in terms of intervention, what needs to be done. If people can afford, the government will be willing, and the government can launch different programs into knowing exactly what how this can be afforded.
Okay, let me go. Let me go to my guys, and then you can make your final argument, so they will pick up the analysis from there. Okay, Pa George, the liberal progressive professor, I see some sort of the hair working here, so it seems that your question is still not answered. Correct, George?
My only question to the doctor, Mr. So, is do we have the capacity in Liberia? From his standpoint, the fact that he's on the ground, do we have the capacity as citizen, government, whoever, do we have the capacity to deal with it effectively?
Okay, just I want all of you guys question come, and then when he answers that, before we can take exit, and then we can have a little roundtable conversation. Your question is whether Liberia have the capacity, right? Is that a question?
That's right.
Okay, Pa George.
Yes, again, let me go back. The dark stress about vitamin C and other things. But he's in Liberia right now. Oranges at this time very scarce. All fruits, I tell you. Right now in Liberia, if you find it will be expensive, you go to what is how Abidjale, you go there right now. Oh, Abidjale, go there. Go to the supermarkets. That's where people sell those fruits. Ask for it. A ordinary Liberian would not be able to afford to buy any of the fruit from over there because it's scarce right now and it costs it. So the second comment I want to make here, Mr. So we hosted Dr. Nyaya, a scientist. He stressed on issues like testing, mask wearing, vaccinating, and in fact, he said he went on TV and radio station in Monrovia to talk to people about the importance of the vaccination and testing, how that can prevent you from not getting the disease, or if you are vaccinated, your chances of going to hospital will be very slim. So he did that, and he was on the program. Now, the issue of vitamin, I continue to go back because the doc is stressing this thing. And know our people, they will not buy into it. They say, if you take, we heard from the medical doctor, if you take vitamin C and other vitamin, the chance of you getting the virus is very slim. that can create hesitancy among people. Again, now he talked about himself. Taking vaccine is a personal issue, but then he made reference to President Biden. President Biden took that vaccine not for himself, but to assure his citizenry that that vaccine was what? Okay for every American to take. President Obama, Dr. Fauci, went on TV live to take that vaccine.
The vice president, Kamala
Harris, they went there to take it, not for themselves per se, but to assure the public, those who have some doubt and reservation about the vaccine, that it is secure. Go and take it. This will prevent you. But
okay.
I'm sorry to say this. Don't know anything about medicine. And I always say, I follow the experts in America and other places. They have always been stressing testing, distancing, washing your hands, all those things. Take your vaccines. Today, I'm here that the doc is in Monrovia, and he's stressing on vaccine.
All right. So
I'm afraid that this message will create problem in some quarters for our people. The hesitancy will come again because they will be caught in the dark. So I'm not saying he's wrong because I got no idea of whatever. But the mere fact here, the vaccine, if he there to educate the people that every vaccine that comes, there's some risk go away, but you weigh the risk and the benefit. That has to be stressed to our people.
Okay, let me give him the chance. I know it's something to make a point. We'll keep having the conversation here, whether he comes back. Any of you guys want to make a point before I go to him, then before we can let him go, and then we'll have a conversation before we wrap up for the day. The Lpr, do you have any follow-up questions, Professor?
I think.
Okay. No. Okay, so let me just go to him, and then we'll come back to our routine here. Okay, Dr. Cooper, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so
I heard the statement. So let me just jump right into it. Apparently, your co-panelist is still not grasping the concepts that I'm laying forward. Now, in terms of comparative analysis, Dr. Chris Nya and Dr. Rockefeller Cooper both have their MDs. The informations that were provided by both individuals were in no way set forth to create any form of contradiction. For me, I believe in intervention because prevention is better than cure. And with that, there must be a contingency plan. Based on what your co-panelist just said, Dr. Nyan did not give a contingency plan by just based on deduction because what he's looking at is one doctor came and talked about vaccine. Another doctor is yet pushing vitamins. Now, before I go further, I did not say that taking the vitamins is going to prevent you from getting COVID. What I said was it serves, I talk about ISIS, immune system intervention support. Okay, it's going to boost your system so that you can fight.
Right.
A lot of people get diseases. One person may die from a disease and another person may not, because if you can't fight the disease, of course, you're going to perish. What I'm saying here is, in as much as you may have been told, even by the CDC, to take vaccines, the CDC did not fly in a shipment load or send in a shipload of vaccines and say, well, you know what, we are going to have these available for the Liberian government to give to its citizens. The government is trying to secure or procure vaccines. What is the contingency plan? As we say in what the story is saying.
Meaning in the absence of the vaccines, what should be provided? Is that you try to improvise?
Exactly. So and that's why I said what he's saying is that just because. So Dr. Nyan told you about vaccines. Yes, vaccines are needed, but there must be a contingency plan. The Liberia has economic challenges.
What you are saying now,
there must be a contingency plan. I cannot stress that more than what I'm saying now. If you do not implement a contingency plan in a country like Liberia, people are going to there's going to be a crisis. Again, if my bluntness is causing any form of panic, then what you all need to do is also spread the message. Let people go to the stores. Let them get on their supplements as well, because, and I will say this with time again and again, rely on the mask, rely on washing hands, rely on social distancing by 3 feet will not work in Liberia, because based on my assessment, the issue of lack of commitment alone is going to prevent the protocol from from being successful. Okay. So there are issues that needs to be addressed. If you don't address these issues, you are not going to be successful. I mean, it is just that clear cut. So, and there's nothing wrong. Back in the US, I was taking vitamins as well. This was from last year. I like I said again, I just took.
But probably you can afford. There are others who can't even get that. But when the headache is, they're having headache that they can't even get. So I fully understand what you're coming from. Yeah. Which of course these vitamins, they are stuff that help the immune system to come back, because when the immune system is so weak and relaxed, then of course you all any little thing can hit you. Okay, so right, Dr. Fellert, Rocky Fellert, we want to thank you. So what you want us to take away here this evening here, let's assume the government is listening to right now. What would be the kind of conversation here, if you can't, in a minute or so, to wrap it up for us?
Yes, so basically, I think the government did start on the right path, but there needs to be an enhancement. There has to be the implementation of contingency plans as well. Again, there needs the media outlets needs to be brought into this, so that even the messages will be disseminated through our different vernacular. Right. There needs to be a discussion where people will be able to appreciate the importance of taking the vaccine. That is paramount. You may overlook it, but it is a very key component, because people don't see the reason as to why they should take the vaccine. People also don't see the reason as to why they should adhere to the protocols that have been put in place. And again, like I said, there has to, the people need to be made aware as to how important it is for them to consume supplements as well.
Okay.
So with that, I'm sure that, we will be able to move forward, and there must be post-mortem examinations done, if possible, to confirm that individuals are dying from actual exposure to COVID, because there's a serious panic as we speak. Everyone that died, people think that for the most part, it is COVID related. So that is a public concern, because who knows, there might be something else going on, and we are being blindsided by this whole COVID saga.
Okay, Dai, thank you so much for your time this evening. We'll keep having this conversation as long as you're there. So we'll always try to type into your expertise. All right. Thank you so much. Okay, let me come to my team of panelists here. Let's see here. Let me bring them here. This seems to be some sort of dissatisfaction here, or something not going down well here. Gentlemen, what's going on?
I just want to come in and Mr. Toole, I understand Dr. Rockefeller is the expert. He has the training, he has the information more than we have. And we're not trying to discredit his his expertise, his competence. But I was just taken aback with his presentation today. And I don't know what I'm very positive, Mr. Libre Progressive. I know you pay attention to these kind of things. If you observe, he was very secular in his reasoning. And those are things that are very dangerous, because he comes with one point, he advances a contingency over the fact that
it's a tweet here, not to interrupt you, Professor Taizaolo. Coming from Heron Tamba, Mr. Tamba is saying, no one will take this vaccine. I don't know where is he trading from. If you wish, maybe we'll put a number out here too. Probably if he has the ability to call, that's fine. But that's something. No one will take this vaccine. I know he's not speaking for people, but there are many voices or many tones also moving in that direction.
Yeah. And you know what, the way Dr. Rockefeller sounded today is as if there's reason to doubt the vaccine. There are other means of kicking this virus out of Liberia other than vaccination, and that's scary. You know, I end on this note. I got a message that my older cousin has not been doing well. I called her daughter yesterday, and she said to me her mom was well until her mother took the vaccination, the first dose. And so the vaccination since then has been causing shortness of breath. So she's not well. So what does that mean, basically? It means that nobody should take the vaccination again. So I had to spend, I think when I checked my phone, I spent 15 minutes on the phone convincing her.
You negotiating?
Yeah, convincing her that, look, get everybody that wants to go and take the vaccination if it is possible. You will have these side effects, you will have headaches, you will have this fever, you know, after a certain time. But in the long run, it's going to help. And I kind of tried to indicate to her that there's no way that this could be the cause of her mother's shortness of breath. Now, to hear what the doctor said here today is good. My son here doesn't want to take the vaccination too. He believes in these vitamins and all of those things. He hasn't caught it yet. And I think the vaccination, the vitamins are, you know, very vital. You always want to take a vaccination, whether coronavirus is around or it's not around. But there are even alternatives. There are natural sources of it. The fact that he didn't even stress the natural sources until he didn't even mention about natural sources until I kept on insisting. I'm concerned, and I'll be very bold.
So let me ask you.
I'm worried.
Do you guys see the diet here ignoring the fight here? Because we've been hearing from CDC here. I'm not talking about CDC in Liberia because some people say CDC, they always go about CDC in Liberia. That testing, that has been the emphasis of Fauci, correct? Am I going off the trail here?
No.
There was not much of A here. He was on the other version of A here. I believe that's what Amos George. I don't know where the professor. I think
he was selling it. I think he was trying to sell a product. I mean, that's my assessment. I think he was trying to sell.
Okay, let me go to Liberal here. The Liberal there he seems not to be certified yet. The Liberal,
Mr. So, I'm glad we're having these kinds of conversation. But let's try it. And then I'm a liberal. I come to this position here from a broad perspective, and I think all of you guys know that. Now, what the doctor was saying, from my own understanding, is that I don't believe he's here to sell the product. Who's going to buy a product in Liberia? That's not the point. But I think the doctor is looking at this thing here from another standpoint. For example, do we have the capacity in Liberia to be able to have the kinds of massive import of the vaccine that we're going to need to be able to address this issue? And perhaps the doctor is saying, if we cannot get the vaccine right now, while we're still waiting for the goodwill of the international community, why don't we find other means to address that? Perhaps other people that have weak immune system, these vitamin C and what have you, will help to build out this immune system. So these vitamins can be obtained easily in Liberia. Orange. If it is proving that this thing can help, you know how many oranges going to be coming from Guinea? Or oranges going to be coming from Ivory Coast? So our people can afford these things. But that's true. What I'm suspecting is happening is that the doctor is saying, look, we have the vaccine issue. First of all, the whole world do not have the capacity and they're still trying to make it up. Now, in the meantime, since Liberia and the rest of the developing countries on the back burner right now, why don't we find other means that our people can gravitate towards to be able to do this here and save ourselves? Now, Mr. So, before I close, let me just tell you something. I don't know how old you are, but
who are you asking? Who?
You. I say I don't know how old you are, so I'm not expecting you to
this guy rather to get this.
Yes, so I know how old you are, but I'm just trying to.
What my age got to do with what we are talking? People are dying. I just celebrated.
The man wants you to suck oranges.
No, far from.
To go bring my,
let me
hold on 1 second. I don't want to do this, but I will be forced to do it.
Let the liver progressive. Let the man land.
Let me finish my point. You see, that's one thing about you conservative and CDC. Listen. Many of you do not like to see the other person make their statement. As a result, you guys keep making these continual blunt that got our country in a mess. And so let me finish my point. Like I said, I don't know how old you are, but those of us that are much older, every one of us, if you go to soccer practice, on the left side of the shoulder, there's a mark. On the right-hand side of the shoulder, there's a mark. When I was growing up, they used to have these people to come and give up shots on your shoulder. We used to make line, and it come like a little gun. They just shoot and they make a pop.
Please don't shoot me or that your grandson there. Don't come assassinate me here, please.
Hold on. Let me finish. So those kinds of medicine, I didn't even know what they were, but we trusted those things and believed these things were helping us. Perhaps that's one of the reasons some of us don't get. How many of you from Liberia that get sick every other week? It's difficult to find that. Many Liberians don't just go and get sick every other week or cold from cold and what have you. So my point that I'm making is we have to educate our brothers and sisters to say we have to accept this thing. The vaccine, whatever medicine that you have to take to make you better, let's do so. And I'm not talking about your age and what have you. I know you're only 45 years old, so I'm not worried about that.
Mr. Tool, how do we help them when we who are the medical practitioners, we who have the education, we who look at ourselves as beneficiaries of those vaccinations, we are hesitant to take the vaccination? We are suggesting the use of other things.
Okay,
how
so
do we our people in that direction? How?
Okay, then let me ask you this.
As CDC practitioner, as CDC man in America, how many CDC big shots have taken the vaccine publicly? Or how many that you know have taken the vaccine?
Okay, Mr. Toll, I think this is a very good argument. Very good discussion. Let me say this to you. If you were to speak to some of the CDC officials in government, I think quite recently one of them even posted something, I think that he was directing at me because I insisted to him that one, he took his vaccination in the United States. I felt that it was wrong to publish it on Facebook. I felt that he was not encouraging the people at home to have trust in the vaccination. So that's a position that I share with you. Our government officials should be taking the vaccination. They should be taking it in droves. And if possible, they should be taking pictures of themselves taking the vaccination. I think that's very important.
Okay.
Hold on there. Hold on there, Professor.
Yeah.
The last thing you told me that was a private issue.
I've evolved.
Okay.
He has evolved.
I got it.
That means take the Sasugu catching.
No, engagement. I evolved.
Okay,
that's what makes me.
I'm
evolved.
I'm okay.
In our tradition,
oh my God.
tradition, LeBron calls your Sasugu catching, my man. Don't say you evolve. Evolve that civilized Sasugu catching.
That's how I called your. That's how the Sasugu called your man today. Because initially he came to sell a product yet. He was pushing for the vitamins. I asked the question twice about natural sources of vitamin C. Twice. Because I know I took it that in elementary schools, citrus fruits.
You guys,
vitamin C, and twice I had to ask him before he made mention of that. Now, so you see, so well, that it caught two of us today.
No,
your boss,
I don't have what we do.
So now you guys are the one that creating fear here. When you call the opposition, you call government people to come here. They don't want to come because like people always fact check people here. So I'm gonna flip the coin on you now. And one of our online here tweeted here, and there was a purpose of that.
Yeah.
Now, and one of the person that is leading the conspiracy about this vaccine people take it, they're going to die in 2 years. It's unbelievable. Serena Cephas, who happens to be the Solicitor General of the Republic of Liberia, and UG Fagon, who was trying to give government a sense of direction, knowing what was happening and what was going to happen, he said something. I don't agree with him with that his laborator. he got himself into trouble. He got fired. Smith Toby was asked as to whether the president of the Republic of Liberia has taken the vaccine. And he said that was his personal or private business. Come on, look at this here. If our leaders cannot, this is the president of the United States of the America, Joe Biden. Vaccine is being administered. The purpose of that is to reassure Americans that the vaccine is secure and people should take it. This is Muhammad Buhari, the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, administering the vaccine. Now, with all these sort of apprehension, and our people can't come out plainly, I was one of those, was very much kind of put this sort of attitude, or wait and see attitude. Oh, this vaccine, and what happens? When I got hit with the COVID, not knowing what I was a COVID, because at that time there was a change in weather, thinking that was maybe change in weather, and I came from a program, got a little beer here and there. And then when I go look, all of a sudden, Professor, my temperature, did my temperature, went to work. You got to do your temperature. It was 103. I said, no, this meter is lying to me. Come on, what the heck are you talking about? And took my ibuprofen, Tylenol, bombed myself with it, and thinking I was going to help. It did not help. The next day, my whole body, I could feel like somebody used power saw or walk from Grand Judea to, or from Morovia to Grand Judea. That's how it was looking like to me. But the good of America, oh my goodness. This guy with his awkward man knowledge and other parts there, a war marker out here.
That story you're narrating, that story you're narrating, you know how it came about? Because your hand was in my business. While you were in Rhode Island, you were here playing with my stuff. I couldn't come on air and what have you. So
on a serious business,
they come after you.
We're on a serious business. Unlike Liberia, like I was saying, Professor, you know, I'm coming from work. I say, you know what? Let me just go. I went a drive through to do a test, and in 30 minutes, when the email signal and when I look at it, I was tested positive, and I saw volumes of calls coming from health people. Are you okay? I say I'm not okay. You will be okay. I say I'm not okay. How you tell me I'll be okay? I'm already infected. I say you'll be okay. So I think here, but people were also beating on the president. I don't think that was fair, because I want to see this here, because at least let's see here. Let's see this here.
The French president expressed the friendship and solidarity of the French people with the Liberian people in these difficult times. As a result, emergency humanitarian assistance was mobilized from the French government.
Okay. Emergency, we have seen this here. Emergency humanitarian. That was after the visit of the president. I don't know a lot that they either came ahead after that, whatever conference they came ahead. Sometimes we got to give it to people, because testing is one of the possible, and I think that's what government needs to enhance, and the communication aspect. All of these radio stations online, in fact, we are blessed now. We have local community radio stations, and not just only in English. They must use the vernacular so that people will understand. But importantly, Professor, and look, the government officials, they need to display themselves when they are taking, just how they were signing for the 15K, you know, and we were crying. We told them not to take it, and they were still taking it. And they said they're going to paint schools, they're digging wells, they're going to do this, they're going to do that. They also need to take that vaccine. They are all Facebook freak like myself. They need to take that vaccine. It will re-echo that, yes, this is safe. And I listened to the U.S. Surgeon General yesterday, Murphy. If you even take one of that, you're still at risk. You have to be fully vaccinated. This is serious, and they need to step out. I think the president needs to come out on this one here. If he takes the vaccine, he needs to say it. And if our oil was in private, we need to see that picture too, to illustrate that indeed the president of the Republic of Liberia has administered the vaccine. And so when the president can take it, it means the ordinary citizen will come to realize it is safe to take. But you're hearing what the onliners, people are saying, and they have all reason to argue that people are doing.
Let me come in.
Mr. So, Professor, please, just 1 minute. Let me just make a point here very quickly. Mr. So, first of all, I'm glad you brought your own experience up. And these are the kinds of things that those who have gone through these things need to come out public and let people know. But here's the other aspect of that. While you were experiencing that, those of us that are connected with you were very much suffering as much because we were concerned, knowing fully well what the disease has done and what it can do to people.
Who you are concerned with?
So let me finish my thought. I wasn't concerned about you.
Told me you told, and I'm going to get you out in the public. I'm going to disrepute you here. You told me I was more or less giving you a problem, so that was the best way Wuhan, China could treat me, so that I would be quiet for 2 weeks. Which of course I ended up being quiet for 3 months. And then you won't tell me yesterday you were concerned.
Yeah, I think the Chinese people did some good job for me. But anyway, on a very serious note, so the fact that we were connected and you were going through that problem, every one of us, your sister, your brothers, everybody was concerned. It's a same situation. Now, the people back home perhaps don't have that kind of connection yet. But if any member, any family member, like the professor just said, you know, he's not worrying because he knows what the virus can do. If this lady is actually infected with it, that's a very serious problem in the family. And this is the kinds of stuff that those of us in the diaspora who have seen and have witnessed what the disease can do to people. We are the one going to go through the most emotional suffering, to be honest with you, than the people back home until they can understand that these things are deadly. And this is what we have to do to continue to help. Now, you just did this here. What's stopping the vice president from being the face of this virus, so to speak? To say, my people, I've gone through it. These are kinds of stuff that can happen to you.
She was infected as well. I don't understand how they do things.
Exactly. You know, to say, when I was infected, this is what it does to me in a day. This is what it does to me at night. And I'm giving it to you as from my own personal. And there are people who believe in her and will trust her. This is how you get this thing going. You can't wait until it starts spreading all over the country. Then you say you want to be the spokesperson. By that time, people, this disease is deadly.
Before Professor Zaulkan, let me just say to Mr. To, that vice president ain't care about the people. She care about her poise.
I don't accept that. I don't accept that. I don't accept that.
So I'll make a comment and then I have to leave because I got something at 5. But look, I think what the Liberal Progressive said is so important. You know, I think about 12 or so years ago, I contracted the diabetes. And I was very outspoken about my illness. It bothered me a lot. And I remember this day I was going for a community meeting and I struggled to get to the community meeting because my shoes I was wearing. You know, I didn't know that diabetic had to, you know, wear certain kind of socks. The shoes had to be free and all those kind of things. So I was really struggling. My toes were tingling and I had to drive like 1 mile. I had to get up, take off my shoes and move, you know, and do things. So I got to this meeting, which I was doing. I've been very outspoken about my illness. I was sharing it with people so that people could know what they could do to prevent them from getting diabetes. By sharing it, one of my friends, I'll call his name here, Patrick Twan, one of the guys in the Liberian political arena. After that meeting, he called me aside. He said, look, I've been having that illness for over 10 years. And because I was able to speak about my illness, Patrick was able to give me hints on things I needed to do so that I could improve, my health. And I said, thanks to Patrick today, I don't experience tingling in my toes. Thanks to Patrick today, because of the words he gave me, I changed my socks I was wearing. I changed the shoes I was wearing. And now I'm like almost, diabetes free. I've been able to control it. But I just want to bring that point, how important it is to use our experience once we have suffered from some of these things to help other people, to make the right decisions. The other thing I wanted to make, the last time it was the president's personal position to reveal whether he took the vaccination or he didn't take it. I still maintain that position. But as a person who loves the president, I would encourage him that if it is possible, that if he hasn't taken the vaccination, to take it and do it public. I think it's very important for us in our country.
Why do you think the president is tight? I know you want to go. Why do you think the mention they are tight-lipped on this whole thing?
I don't know. I can't speak for that. I don't know the reason, but I think I would just say that if I was in his position, I would take it. I would take it publicly, and I would encourage him to do it. If he hasn't done it, do it as soon as possible. Look. Lastly, I just wanted to say, I know everybody has their own. Everybody has their own. Yeah,
I want to put a line up here before for a few calls so that our people go ahead.
Everybody has their own position, but I'm broadcasting to 8 stations in Margibi and Bond County about the importance of taking the virus. So I'm paying for it. I'm paying for it to be broadcast.
Why are you broadcasting to Bond County when Mr. Joy is supposed to be doing that?
No.
Your vice president will take all the money and go to Ghana.
Are you from Bond County now?
We got border. Our people move up and down. Our people move up and down.
No, that's where at one at a time.
Yeah, we share border with Bond County, and our people move up, in and out of Bond and Margibi County on a daily basis.
Why are you not inviting Mr. George to be part of the program, saying he's from Bond County?
I'm inviting everybody who can afford it to be able to.
I think you guys are off for something else.
On the local radio station.
I think you guys are running political campaign.
All right, this is the so I beg I have to leave.
Very understandable. Thank you.
Professor, thank you very much and happy 4th of July.
Please tell your fellow citizens in authority, let them take the vaccine. We want to see it publicly.
I would do that.
Yeah, we want to do it. Yeah, I mean, it's important on a serious note because I too began to have that sort of my conscience was in serving me right. We were telling people do this, and there's no evidence. You remember the Reverend and I, we went here to it, and I look at it not just necessarily because I was hit with the virus, but how can you tell somebody do this thing here and you self not even displaying here? So I decided to take the vaccine, and I can tell you, and I'm not just saying it by mouth. I don't want to be that Liberian politician. That's me right there being taken out of my life.
That doesn't look like you. That doesn't look like you.
Okay, yeah, take it to the forensic lab, then they will know who it is. Okay, let me go to this number here. 919 number 952 number. Are you there? Hello, caller? Hello? Caller, are you there? 8420.
You hear me?
Yeah, hearing you now. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is Prince Double again.
Mm-hmm.
And thanks for the, these are things that, informing our people, even though 1,000 people now in the show, but people will replay the show and listen to it later and the news will get out there. And the question that I asked the doc, I thought he was in Liberia working, then he came here and then went back. So then this is the issue with the vaccine, Mr. So. Mr. So, are you still there?
I'm listening. Yeah, go ahead.
You see, our government official, my check to have issue with we are not doing it properly. What the people are doing, we saw Joe Biden, the Nigerian president, they're doing it properly to bring that confidence in the citizens. And I saw one picture of the poster with the senator, our senator from Montserrat County, Darius Dillon, where I think he took a vaccine in America. If you're going to post, if all our government...
What you said Darius Dillon took his vaccine in America?
Somebody posted a picture now, so
really?
I will send it to your inbox. You sat there and you're taking the picture.
Can you send me that? Let me see.
Flee from the country. They go in other countries and they go and take the vaccine, and then what becomes of the citizens? That's why people don't want to take the vaccine. They have an issue with that. I told you the other time I called when I was in Grand Gita about 2 months ago, why people were chasing people who were carrying the vaccine around because the government not educating the people and the government officials are not in the forefront of doing this vaccine thing. They got $15,000. They all went out. When a senator from Grand Gita County, Joe Penny, was in France. He got to the airport, a woman there kissing a wife.
Oh,
he left the constituents there in Grand Gita. He's going to on the honeymoon with the $15,000 they gave him. So what we encourage now the people in Grand Gita County now to go and get online, go take the vaccine the guys carrying around. Had they been in that place with the 15,000 again and said, "Look, they fasting here, or come here," they go and sit down and show it on the radio station. They got almost 4 or 5 radio stations in Grand Jury County. They take those things and the people are talking all those things. People will go and take the vaccine, but nobody want to do that. The president brought 40,000 in the country. I hope he will go and take one so he can put it out there so people can take it. I called my little brother to tell him about the vaccine. I said, "Well, man, you need to take the vaccine because the COVID now is there. It's not like before when I went there with Max, they were laughing, but it's there." The man said, "My man," they say, "All right, we're taking that thing in 2 years, I will die, my man. Man, I can die here." So I said, "Oh, man, who told you that?" I didn't even know that the Serena Seafood said it first.
It's here, watch our room.
You know, yeah, Serena Seafood said it, you know, on Facebook, my man. They say,
he put it in watch our room, and I call you, what is this?
Courage to convince that young man to take that thing, it will be a very serious thing. That's the thing with the government, and there's the man who tried to get out of fire, but he left the man go fire who tried to educate the people or tell the people what they think. Thank you, Mr. So.
All right, by George.
Yes.
This is a very difficult thing to explain because people have pressing. We had a chief of conspiracy theory here, Donald Trump, who is the former president. He was telling people, but what happens to him? When he got hit and he ended the rush into Water Re, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he got it. The kind of treatment he got, other people were saying getting it. So this is a challenge for national government. And I think the government should be able to open her arms to reach out with the media industry. Whether the people talk about you before or not, because this is going to potentially determine your fate. Comes 2023, if it is not handled. If the thing that just sort of jacketing, they need to organize that Rabat International Airport. That's the gateway to the COVID in Liberia. People, they did not take no precautionary measures. We understand people have to travel, but they have to do it differently. And I think it is really, really, really important because the apprehensions in the minds of the people and government officials coming out that when people take this vaccine, they're going to die within the X period of time. That alone, how can you convene, how can you or twist the mind of ordinary person there when they are getting this sort of soundbite from big people? That's serious. Go ahead. I want to play some sort of video here, some of the challenges being faced.
Yeah. Here's the thing, Mr. So. This is true. But sometimes you have to go back and try to tell our people, make reference to certain things. Measles, vaccine, polio, vaccine, guinea worm, all these things. Vaccine have to eliminate most of these things today in our society, in third world country. So when people come with these hesitancy, you have to be prepared to combat some of these things with making facts to the past and coming to the present. And this is why I said we're pushing back. Because if you are in the field and you go to tell people or express some reservation that, hey, they think we're fixed, it was made too quick, so Massa got some hesitancy about it. That is another problem. And I always make reference to America because I am not a medical person. But what I do, I follow the medical people. And that's the only way we can inform our people. So this is the issue that we are faced with. The challenges in Liberia is for almost everybody involved. And to lead this fight, as stated the last time, the president must be ahead of this fight. Because the more people die, the more he will get blamed. Whether elected or not, he will get blamed. We said it before. Our borders are very poor. The poorest border you can say in Africa now, Liberia. People coming from Ivory Coast. People coming from Guinea. People coming from Sierra Leone. What are we putting in place to protect these people? Even they test the 40 some thousand test kits that they brought in. Now you got to prepare the splash to this area. So I don't want to send people in those areas to make sure people that are entering on a daily basis that are tested. These are all challenges the government facing. We can talk, and the citizenry, we all have our part to play. responsibility, citizen responsibility come in. Educating one another, talking to one another. The danger of this virus is very essential, it's very important to the survival of the country, because there are people who are dying in Liberia today. You cannot replace them within the next 20 years. So the virus is a brain drain on poor countries. So listen to the medical experts. I said again, listen to the medical expert, the guy from the who in charge of the COVID thing across the bridge. He spoke yesterday or day before yesterday. I listened to it. These people must listen to these people, because that the Muswaka said some 2 days ago. The machine, Mr. So, to determine whether that the type of variant in Liberia, Nigeria got 2. I think he said only 2 countries or 3 countries in Africa that have that machine. The cost of that machine, he said, is put at $1 million. Now, that's a big money. But if we calculate the money that they took and gave to these people on Capitol Hill, it can overpurchase 2 other machines. The money they took and gave to these people on Capitol Hill, if we calculate it, it can almost purchase 2 other machines. These are some of the things we're talking about, the country. We see that we poor, but you dish your money to a lawmaker. That money should have been used with what is coming from the airport, the collecting as a fee, and take and give to the World Health Organization and say, look, this is what we have. Can you put over this to give our vaccine? No. But you took it and put it in people's pocket. And these are some of the things we're talking about. And when come here, people say, we want to bash the government. No. It's about the country, the people. And so let me just close on this.
That's not on the government. Both sides. Sides, they all inflicted this sort of suffering on the Liberian
because they relaxed, Mr. So when they first waiting, everybody was relaxed. That, hey, the virus is not here. But they forgetting to know that when that thing was going around, plane, country banned, country closed country. You didn't have that much traffic to Africa again. Air Morocco then, Air France, nobody was going to Africa. So you didn't have much flowing in those countries. When you relax the restriction, the traffic started moving. Now you see what is happening in Liberia. Because of the influx of people, this virus now is on the rampage in Liberia. Because government relaxed and did not put anything in place just in case when the rain come back, what will we do to stop the rain from spreading over? It was never done. And here we are now in this quagmire situation. My brother, Mr. Toe, caught that virus. The man was in the hospital. We could not go there. It was phone conversation. Can you imagine? Your brother is sick with COVID in the hospital. You can't even go there. Hey, whoever in another hospital, see the conversation we're having. This is serious. They were in the hospital. We couldn't go there. So this thing, I want to urge our people. My people, this virus is real. And for our country, we are not prepared to handle this virus, to fight it at the Western world.
So we're gonna do something unusual. We're gonna take the bull by the horn here. This guy who every word that comes from out of him told time. He needs to speak the Crown dialect to talk to the Crown people here, and we will try. Yes. We hope even people will call. This one here. This virus does not have a boundary. It doesn't care whether you're Sedition or your Liberty Party or your Unity Party or Rainbow Coalition. Believe me. And the reason now I'm emphasizing on it because they say experience is the best thing. Even though Samson told pray so much for this virus for it to hit me and hit me hard, and he get the guts to tell me, thank God for one you channel. At least I'm resting this few days. But on a serious note, no, he was always after that's why sometimes you gotta be careful things you wish for. After he said that, then when I was in there, when he called, I can't talk. Should I come? So I said, where you want to come? Even when you come, you're not going to see me. People in my household, people ready to pour food to your door. Your sister then they bringing tonic water. Oh, my vitamin, I end up giving some to people. When they come in, you inside, yes. Then they bring it, they dash it either in the mail bags. Then you sneak outside, you got to wear gloves. This is crazy. Our people, this is serious. And I understand where they are coming from because the apprehension, the way it was interpreted, the way the leaders took it, the way the leaders frame it to the people. And this is where the public relation aspect comes in. This is the time. If all of those senators, those are on vacation all over the place, if they will start using some of that 15K to go in their various counties and start having meetings, that's what these people do in the Western world. When they are crisis, they come down, they retreat and talk to their people. When the virus got worse here, that's what our Senator Jack Reed did. That's what David Cicilline, that's what my city mayor did. People are going virtual conferences to tell people. Why our people are not doing that? I want you to play this video here. The Defiant, our amateur camera also captured this one here yesterday. Our correspondent, while he was going all around, he captured this video here. And I want you to see it because we have to talk so, how people are so defiant, of their own life. Let's watch and see, and then we're going to have a discussion.
We come to you live and direct from outside of the nation's capital. This fellow you see on the camera has violated the health protocol here, folks. So he's refusing to wear the nose mask and he's violating the health protocols. Yeah, this is it. This is it, folks. I'd like to say thanks to all of you watching us live and direct. This man you see has refuse totally to follow the health protocol. Watch this video. Folks, this is it. We'd like to say thanks to all of you watching us. Folks, this is it. We're coming to you live and direct from outside of the nation's capital, Monrovia. My name is Delphin. I'd like to say thanks so much for all of you watching us live and direct. We're coming to you from outside the nation's capital, Monrovia, to be precise here on the nation's capital. All right, this is it. This is it. This is it.
You somebody your friend. You somebody your friend. What a man love for What a man love for somebody.
Folks,
I never beat you.
No.
You beat me.
Leave it.
You want to beat me for the man. You beat me. I never beat on you. You beat me. Let me say sorry. Don't beat me. I beg you. I don't know you just like get behind like that. Not good. Oh, God.
This is it, folks. We're coming to you live and direct from outside the nation's capital. This is all happening in Kingsville, to be precise. This is it. The police has come to enforce the health protocol to see that people adhere to the health protocols. But unfortunately for us, folks, there are still a lot of people who are not adherents to the health protocols. So this is it. My name is Delton Dole. I'm being here bringing you.
Okay, that's our guy there, our man Emmanuel Japo and his colleague there, the LPR amateur camera captured that security forces they are trying to enforce the exercise, even though some other folks were around. But let's talk so here. Pa George, you in this country, you know, I know there is no way that I can stand on this planet Earth to get into a fixed fight with a policeman in this country. You be dead.
Yes.
Yeah, but yeah, we are. I know there's some other version of it. I don't know all of how it started, how it was approached. But one thing I know too with these people here, I don't care. You talk to the policeman that you, instead of you telling them yes, they will tell you, cause them, you tell them something. I'm not saying it's a right thing to do, but they will always have that sort of soft tone to make you to understand either they're doing their word, they're doing their. But our people, why can't we also understand to use common senses? This thing here, it seems to me people still don't even believe that this virus exists because the way the big folks or the way people are handling it, or either I was saying Liberian attitude, we don't care. One thing that I know we Liberian will run from is rain. When bullet is even flying, we stress our neck to see what type of bullet, where that bullet is coming from, who is firing that bullet. Go ahead.
Mr. So I will address this in twofold. Education is the underlying factor in this thing. In law enforcement, force is not the first option. Force is the last resort.
The last resort.
What I say is that I don't know the genesis of it, but though I saw the two officers holding the young man, you have provoked a situation already.
Power struggle kicks in.
Yes. What I say, or what I'm saying, if anybody is not wearing a mask and you're a law enforcement officer, if you call that person, hello, how you doing? What's wrong? You're not wearing the mask. Then explain to the person the danger of not wearing mask. And you're urging him, if you do so, he will be saving his life or that of his family life. If you start that path, it will not end up like that.
This technically comes to police and community relationships.
That was education. If you go that route, you saw somebody, another guy was saying, my man, you're not supposed to do so. You see that? It's another civilian telling him, you're not supposed to do so.
So basically, there are other people who also understand the nature and the danger of it, but people have inability to handle these things also escalate it.
Yes. That is the problem. Because if the officer is trained how to approach people who are in violation of this mask wearing or whatever social distancing, it would not end up to that point. But like you, when the officer comes to you, the first thing, my man, what happened? The first thing you figure, oh, I'm a man, why the guy want to approach me like this? You see that the ego set in. And this is the problem. And the other thing is, you know, I hate to say it, but look at that officer appearance. Mr. Soy, in policing, in security, means a whole lot.
Uniform, yeah.
But this is the problem. You saw when the first lockdown happened, this thing didn't happen. The way
we see the boss card, we see the boss card and something, man, and we see the boss card and they put a check on the working at AFL. Can you imagine?
The way they went about again, it would like the same thing again. So what is the lesson these people are learning? Because in order for the community to trust you.
Look, Mr. So, as a former Boy Scout myself,
you what Scout? That you used to catch a poor chicken? Oh my God.
Yes. Yeah, but there's a rule in the Boy Scout though. When you catch the chicken, the Boy Scout in total. When you catch the chicken, you gotta eat it and finish it. When you take people cassava, you can only take what you can eat. You can't take anything and say I'm taking it home.
You see
that he's trying to give justice. These are the politicians, media politicians. He giving justice.
I'm just giving it to you. At least that's what we were told. So when we go to these people farm, we go our scout program and we meet somebody with cassava farm, we eat, we take it. But we eat what we have to. What we take, we eat. We're not gonna take it somewhere else.
Look at it. Look at it.
Let me go back to this video that we just saw, Mr. So. It's very sad, and this is what I'm saying over and over. Communication matters. Communication matters. When people started here, the first lockdown, it was terrible. But here's a video here right now that you just showed. Did you see the policemen that were fighting? Did you see them wearing their masks? So why this young man even has the virus and you throw him down there, you're in your face? What makes it the virus?
Oh God!
Look. So what are you trying to do? You're trying to protect the man. I mean, you're trying to say the man should wear the mask. But yeah, you are. You're not even
wearing the mask. Right?
Yeah, and you want to enforce the rule. How are you going to do this? These are kinds of stuff our people face every day. And that's why they don't trust anything from anybody.
Yeah.
Because you have to, they are Liberian. They might be poor, but they know their rights and they have respect for themselves. If you want these people to take you serious, talk to them, have conversation. One of the good things that is happening, and I keep bringing this up, Mr. So, one of the best things that are going for us in Liberia, every one of these little organizations, I mean, every one of these little communities have organization, and they have their community leader. The Pam Pam boys have a community, they have their leader. All of the Yana boys, Chicken A seller in Liberia, they have their own leader. So it's easy. What you need to do is identify the community and spread yourself out for communication purpose, and explain to these people. Have yourself some sort of a video that you can put together from YouTube, and at night show it on a big wall. You don't have to have a screen. They got wall already. You have a projector, you show it on the wall. What these things will happen if you don't do X, Y, and Z. Even if a lot of people don't show up, those who are going to show up will not be the people that will carry your message out.
And in fact,
you don't have to go.
Yeah, and in fact, to add on, they could even use this international. We saw people here when you're fighting for your life in the hospital, when you have reached that that stage where you have breathing issue, and you see people. I saw it here because at a certain time after the second week, I was feeling fine. A certain time when I look, like somebody took cow skin and just put it in my throat. I'm like, oh, this something tall guy is on me now. I mean, your whole esophagus, your airwave is black.
Yeah.
Putting finger in my throat, drinking ginger, doing this. So people don't understand. They don't get the danger of this thing here. They need to show some of these videos here, you know, from the major cable wire. When you reach to that stand where your breathing becomes an issue. The funny thing they get in the place there, well, that's not even oxygen. That's not anything. They have
Mr. So,
a mission here. Why can't even help people?
Mr. So, look at it this way. The government, and I'm just speculating here, but most of the media practitioners in Liberia, most of the time don't even pay for these airway. So you identify these people, you the government, and bluff them to say, look, we'll seize your license, but you have to carry 3, 4.
That's the dictatorial. You see, that's your liberal prayer.
I don't care. These people are not paying. They're not paying for the airway.
They have to
pay. The airway, and they're not paying for the airway. So let's get something in return. These major news organizations,
but you can't do that.
On your program, you have to carry.
Liberia is not Iraq.
For 1 or 2 hours.
You are there wrong. Liberia is not Iraq. It's not a Syria. For you to tell government to start seizing people because they don't want to pay their commercial.
I said bluff them. I said bluff. I said they must seize it. I using the real Liberian English. Bluff them. Bluff them.
That statement is a disgrace. That statement is a disgrace.
I don't care. I'm still making it. Mr. So, on a very serious note, you have to find whatever means you get.
No, but that's not a way of finding me. Why you should tell me the government has the money. Government need to spend money.
Oh, here we go again. Where the government get the money from?
They have it.
Yeah. Where the money coming from?
All of these people that are traveling, right?
Where the money coming from? Because they've given the now. Here we go. You're going to come out with a $15,000. Let us see that, man. We're feeling with that $15,000. We're waiting for the next $15,000. We're waiting for the next $15,000 for us to eat. So please,
because the party leader,
I don't care who you can put.
The party
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. So my political leader, anytime you pour a picture, I will sing happy birthday to her.
Yeah.
But Mr. So,
then she said,
forget about this money issue.
Pepper, they must buy plenty.
Cassava, she's communicating with her people. The same thing your CDP, you and your CDC people are not doing. You're not communicating with people. My political leader is communicating with our constituents. Then what you want to say? When was the last time you heard Joe we are saying about paper? When was the last time you heard Joe we are saying you and your CDP you're coming and try to educate them? When we're trying our best to educate our people, now you want to condemn that? The woman was simply telling the people the lockdown is coming. So please, those of you that can afford right now, buy the food so you don't get outside.
Supposed to be to say that when she on her way to America?
What become of them? Those who can afford.
That's a disgrace, gentlemen.
No. This is the best way to do it. I don't care what you're saying.
On a
If
serious,
you're uncovered sedition, and Mr. Judge is a center right. So all of you and the CDC people, all of you have got a serious
let me just tell you,
attitude. So
I
I don't agree with you guys.
Yeah, you won't agree. I wish I was a sedition because CDC, I would not even spend 1 minute with them because that crap, I would not even take it. That you know very well. And that's why you people, you guys who are part of these political institutions, you always give justifications of their wrongdoing. I would never do that. Believe me, I will never do that.
I don't even think CDC want you in their camp anyway.
They will not even want me because I went under the sycamore tree. The why he said Lpr-Tv refused to even talk to me because they do, and that's the problem. We ask you all to bring your people here. They don't want to come because they do not want to be asked questions. They do not want to have authentic conversation, and this is causing Liberia to bleed. Lack of leadership. The people do not have the country at heart. And we have to expose these people. We have to. And you also have to lead that champion. Yeah, you are telling people for government, when government start taking people license tomorrow, you will come back here and start crying.
Mr. So I said the government must bluff the people. I said they must take the license.
Government block Henry Costa, license here, and you are crying here like Chihuahua. You are crying all over
because they have no business touching my son. They can't touch him. He's one of the best. He's one of the best.
Okay.
We're in a serious problem in our country. Look, my hair is pounding now. Gentlemen, we got to it's a complete disgrace. Mikey, you need to come for this Samson told man here.
Mr. So, what's wrong with me saying Henry Costa is the best? He's the best.
No.
Which one of you people?
Don't retweet my. That's not what. That's how not work.
Henry Costa, nobody talk about Henry Costa not being the best.
I don't even talk about that. I don't.
Why are you saying? Why brought it knee up for?
You brought it. I never call anybody's name. You brought it up.
You said that the government should block people because they are not paying money.
I said the government must bluff.
No.
Bluff.
No.
Bluff.
Yeah.
Oh boy. All right.
Mr. So.
You know, that's who that's how, no bad brief for a child. So he with us, there's nothing we can do.
Don't take no telephone call from that man. Let him keep his telephone calls.
Okay. I think I need to do that.
Call from him. Let him keep his call.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Because help. I mean, honestly, but gentlemen, on a serious note, we all have to, and to all of our follower listeners, we have to, if you are, I saw a couple of people in Bon County, and before I forget, one of our valuable listener, primetime listener here, called me and said, Mr. So, I'm so disappointed. He said, what? He said, the action of the vice president to go build one I don't know, horse or whatever for somebody because that person was displaced. That's not how I was surprised because this person is a very quiet person who often talk. He said, I was surprised. If you want to do that, why not you build, something that will, house other group I'm not saying that doing good is wrong, but that's just a single person. Suppose somebody come from Basel tomorrow and display. Somebody come from Lofa tomorrow and display. Somebody come from Nima tomorrow. You do. When you see those kind of things, you set a long-term goal and identify something and see whether it can be like a gradual process, divide the country into region and put people there. But the worst of all, she decided to go to Bon County to build something for somebody who is displaced from Bon County. I mean, you are a number 2 person, mother of the land. What happened when another woman comes out from Basel or Buchanan or Sando tomorrow or Grand Jide say I'm displaced? Will you go there and start building people's houses around?
No, Mr. So, what happened? The vice president helping someone, there's nothing wrong, but it should not be publicized. Just if you build someone who got displaced, just give it to them and move on. Because there are areas in Bon County, people are in dying. I think what they call, I just forgot what the scientific name. They have this in Bon County, they call it leprosy quarter or somewhere they treat the people. What is the scientific name for the disease? We want them to show on TV. That place is being devastated, completed. Those are the areas you want to make publicity. Go there and assist those people. But you build one house for somebody or house for somebody. You carry on whole TV crew to show vice president. That is just appalling on her part. Help you one point. You carry the whole TV.
I don't agree. I don't agree.
That's you.
You never agree with anything anyway.
I don't agree with both of you. I don't agree with both of you. She did it not so much of publicity, but as a humanitarian. Look, let's be frank. This vice president.
Let me ask you something too. The good that you have done for some people, do you go out there talking about it? As an individual, do you go out there talking about it?
Well,
I should tell you, the one you did yesterday, you told me I should put it out.
No, what we're talking about are different things.
But that's not it.
No. But look, let me tell you guys. I've been following the vice president since 2000, I believe 2002, what was it, 2000. When her husband was president at the time, when she was the first lady, you know what she did in Liberia? She decided to take on the problem of young women being abused. She took upon herself, took her own money and started building houses for people, for these children to survive. This woman has been helping people for a very long time. This is not the first time. So if she does this and the crew and the news media follow her and what have you, is that why you're going to come here now and try to complain about it?
You should call them.
Guys,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Gentlemen,
She's a nice person.
Something told Amos George, I want to thank you so much for such a fascinating program, and of course to our viewers and listeners. What's your closing statement, Mr. Toll?
In another 2 to 3 hours, we will be back on here talking about the coronavirus. Hopefully, I can get Mr. George's email because I'm going to be inviting him, so he and he can help me to disseminate.
You say hopefully?
Yes, that's what I said. That's what I said. What's wrong with that one?
If you don't have it, just ask for it. Or you waiting after I get off the show before you call me for it, right?
Mr. So, could you please let me finish my statement? I said, hopefully, I will get Mr. George's email because I'm going to invite him to help me disseminate the information to our brothers and sisters. COVID-19. We'll be playing a lot of video. So I hope you can join me at that time as well.
All
so
right.
what's wrong with me saying hopefully?
George, what's the closing statement?
Look, I want to say first, thank you for Dr. Rockefeller for coming on. I hope my questions was all done out of curiosity, not that I want to challenge his expertise. But to our people, this virus is real. And we don't have the capacity in Liberia to say we can take the virus head on. So we must listen to the experts. Do not listen to people who don't have the expertise, because they will be telling you something different and you'll be doing something different. Remember, if it don't hit your horse, you will not know it. Some of us got friends, we have lost friends just a few weeks from the virus. So it is real, and I want to admonish our people. Take it serious.
All right, well, folks, the best political team commentators right here on the Liberia Public Radio from Atlanta, Georgia. It's Mr. Amos George. And of course, the only liberal on this network, based in the liberal state of California, Samson Brown Toll. Thank you so much for your expertise. And of course, Professor Asese Labos Zawolo, who was here with us earlier. And to our many viewers and followers, I want to thank you so much for sharing your Sunday. Happy 4th, gentlemen. I don't know whether you're going to be getting a glass of wine or whatever it is this evening. Whatever you do.
I think we'll do our show Monday. We'll not do it tonight. We'll do it Monday evening.
Yeah, I agree with something. I go ahead. That one, you and myself go on the same line.
Yeah, let's do it Monday evening.
Yeah. Mr. Toll, what you say? I mean, so.
Well, I'm the chairman. I'm the board. Why are you asking the CEO? I am the board chair. The decision is made and it's done.
You see, this is how they spoil government. The board chair runs the administrative arm of organization.
That the Tory is going to get like, bro.
You see, if you were president, that's how you're going to be the COVID chair. Instead of people to wait for you to bring a result to you, you won't wait. You will be the chairperson. You will be doing everything. That's how you can spoil country. You boy, you're supposed to be going out there to find money for us to work. And if I don't do the work, or if we don't do the work, then you hold all responsible. Well, boy, I got to do a program here again. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm the bullshit.
Okay, the Liberal Progressive. I want to thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is what we do here. We buzz one another, and we don't take anything personal.
No,
here.
Mr.
And after all, we leave. Yeah.
Water and sewer. The sewer truck. When they said sewer truck also, by the time you see the superintendent, the superintendent running behind the truck.
Yeah. That's why Liberian people, they don't give people job and for the people to complete their task. That's why if something will in as much you're trained and professional in here, when we get in our job, now, but you leave from there, you want to be doing different things instead of making sure the road. That's why he's trying to show here. But he's a good guy, we gotta manage with him. Yeah, old man. Even though he refused to be old, he always want to be like us here, which of course is a good thing. But to our many followers, we want to thank you so much for your time, for your evening. We are open to suggestions, critique. Mr. Williams, here, for those of you following us for the very, very first time, this is Liberia Public Radio. This is what we do. We try our best as possibly as we can to focus on the issue and insert some sort of humanity into what we talk about here. Not necessarily it's an entertainment center to amuse you. We want to talk on these issues that are confronting, whether it is for or against. Yes, you can be for any party. It doesn't matter. But we want people to bring some sort of level of authenticity in the interest of the country. Unfortunately, our national leaders, political actors, people in the media, advocates, they want to be in 4-5 places at the same time. Like the Liberal, he said he a Liberty partisan, but he a Liberty partisan to USA. But when you call Nyombi Kanga Lawrence name, then he bursts into flame. And I will continue to talk about the 15K because I don't want them to take that balanced 15.
Oh, yes.
Liberia, there are a lot of challenges. Something told you can look at me from now to Judgment Day. I don't care. All right. So unfortunately, the program is end. That's how we're going to leave it here today. Oh, yes, let it go. That's the voice of Minister Jemima Walcott. Let it go. How many of us can let it go?
Let it go. 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 Lord, help me let it go. Help me let it go. Yeah, let it go. Yeah, let it go. Help me let it go. Master Jesus, let it go.
We want the COVID to go. It's not a friend to all. It's an enemy. That's what I see as the enemy of the state. The COVID. It need to go.
Give it all to Jesus. Let him take control. Just sit and watch it.
And by the way, this tribute is on YouTube. You just type in Jemima Walker, let us go, and then you will be able to have it as well. That 15K per my man, that money per gone. I don't care what we do. Say Jesus Christ. Tomorrow judgment, they say you can't get it from the man. Then they're feeling with a long time. We're fighting for the last one now. The last one is on life support, but we're gonna make sure that tube stay there.
We are not a woman. Don't let it bother you. I say let it go. If someone overlook you because you live in zero, if they insult you because you don't have nobody, if you say this, you continue to be a soul.
It's T-Will on the beat.
Hey, Yahweh. Hey, Yahweh. Yeah, Yahweh. Yahweh, come for my rescue.
Well, let us go. Let our Lord
fight
fight
my
our battle. He's the only
battle,
person that can fight
Jesus
this
fight my
battle
battle,
and for us to win it.
yeah, I fight my battle, fight us to fight against me.
Yes, as far as the COVID battle I'm talking about is the COVID battle. We need the Lord to fight that battle for us.
Yeah, I fight my battle, fight us to fight against me. Yeah, I fight my battle, Jesus fight my battle. Yeah, I fight my battle, fight us to fight against me. Yeah, I fight my battle. This battle is so heavy for me, no. I cannot fight it alone, no. You promise to fight it for me, no. Yeah, fight my battle, Jehovah fight my battle, man. Lpr fight my battle, fight it and make me a winner. What kind of life can you live in? When I plan for trouble, can I get it? What kind of life I live in today? Oh? When I hear somebody don't recognize me. What sort of life can you live in? My friends are children, but I don't have one. No. What kind of life I live in today? Oh? When I read my application, they don't accept it.
I want to thank you so much. Just how we're going to go to carry down here to Madam Oman, then Abel, Eleanor Barker right there from Delaware, next to Joe Biden. You're lucky you're near the President of the United States of America. I believe this the fourth is going great with you, and of course, Little T right there from the Garden City of New Jersey. Thank you so much, Mikey, our man, Dennis King, and all of these folks. We want to thank you so much for your time this evening. Princess Evans, thank you so much for sharing your evening with us.
Oh, fight this battle, Lord. Oh, fight this battle, Lord.
Of course, my man Prince
Oh, fight this battle, Lord. Fight this battle for me, Lord. I am qualified, they say I'm not.
The
capable, they say I'm not.
Please, Hendra, consider your decision to take that vaccine. It could be the life you could save for yourself and that of your family. Please.
These people are waiting on me today. I have become a backup to them.
And Phoebe Warity right there, Timbone County. Please, all of you guys should reconsider your decision to take the vaccine. It is for your own good.
Fight those who fighting against me. Those who fighting my future.
People are misleading. People are giving misleading information. Take the vaccine. If you do not take that vaccine, the possibility, the danger, the repercussions will be severe. And it is a statement that when you have it, well, brother, sister, they keep this thing from you because it's just not good. I experienced it. Many other people experience it, and I'm just telling you as it is, as it should be. We want to encourage our leaders to talk to our people, to also show, to display, let them administer the vaccine publicly, as it was done here, to reassure the citizens that it is no harm.
Some people use their power. They go to Juju man. They will even claim on Monday man. They go to Mogologisi just to bring me down.
Don't bring people down because there's another version of bringing people down. If you don't take that vaccine, there's a danger hangs over you.
You told me something to fight for swim. You said you will protect all my enemies. You will destroy those who want to destroy my life. You will fight those who fighting like this me. There is no time for you to rise up. Arise, let them be disgraced. Arise, let them be destroyed. Jehovah be
Oh man, well, time has caught up with us here. Time has caught up with us here this afternoon, right here on the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. I am Afonso Zain, so let's speak our dialect. Let's speak whatever language that you can speak to communicate effectively the danger of this virus. It is danger. We saw people here. It disconnected families. It causes pain and agony. People still can't even go through it. Just few weeks ago, last week, as a family who was in coma for a year plus, it was on CNN for the first time, joining his wife and children. 1 year in coma on a tube just to survive, to catch breath. You know what that means? For those of you who are considered not to take that vaccine, you have all reason because you wasn't told the right thing. And people who should have led the course to explain the goodness and what you're going to do, they didn't do it. That's okay. But we are here. We are doing it now. We are having this conversation. And it's better late than never. Take the vaccine to save yourself, to save your family, to save your household, and for us to have a better Liberia. On this note, folks, I want to thank you so much for your time by spending here this evening. It was great sharing this platform with you. If they're your first time, so just go on Facebook, search for Liberia Public Radio and follow us. We are not for, we are not against, we don't abuse, we don't entertain, we don't cause, because when that happens, it kills the purpose of the conversation. We need to tell people, we need to have a dialogue. I might disagree with you, you can disagree with me, but we must maintain that culture of civility for us to have a genuine conversation. That's what it is all about. Until all of us in the media industry, whether you support the government or you support the opposition, if you can be honest and put the interest of the country first and first, and not these sycophants and these fake political leaders who are just there to enrich themselves. I am annoyed in the middle of crisis for these people purposely to take $15,000 each and leaving the suffering Liberian people, and for them to come back to tell you that they are in your interest and you want to believe that, they need to put that money needs to be reallocated to fight this sort of virus here. It's common sense, for God's sake. They put it there for themselves. How many times we pay them? They get a salary, they get this allowance, this other setting fee, for what? And you have their workers, people that are working, they have to demonstrate before they can get one month pay. How do these people go to work? Do they not have family? They do not have kids to go to school? You know why? Because they want you to continue to open car doors for them. When they are in a tinted windshield, you only see the tires rolling. You don't know who is the driver inside. We need to change that. This is a wake-up call for Liberia. Put the interest of the country first. Where is NDPL today? Where even the Unity Party, the LAP, Liberia People's Party, these people do not build institutions. They're just for themselves. They will come and tell you all of the fake things that they think they're going to do in the name of our people, our people. They're not doing it for me. They're doing it for themselves. We need to tell them to even reduce that 9 years, for God's sake. 9 years, 6 years is too much. When will my son become senator? When will your daughter become representative? Is that an entitlement? That's the kind of protest people, Liberian people, need to call for. Why will one person stay in power for 9 years? If you think you are popular to the people, make it, let's cut it down, and then you can seek re-election. Some of them were there for 9 years, they are going back, they're going there for 18 years. So the only time when they die before my daughter or son can contest to, that is unfair. These are some of the problems we have in the country. They see that as an entitlement. And you sit down, you cheer these people. You cheer them. They gave themselves 9 years consecutive year. You ever saw a Liberian government official when they did wrong, they steal for them to resign? Only in this country it happened. When they steal, then they use a modifier or embezzlement. But when a little man down water side there, messenger tell you, say the man steal, you put it inside. They never like them up. They like governance up here. They like city mayors. They like senators. They here in federal prison. It doesn't happen so easily in Liberia. The three branches of government, they need to come to their senses. They need to consider, they need to understand that Liberia is a sovereign nation and everybody have the right to live perfectly and enjoy the fruit of that land. For one group of people, for them to think that it is their entitlement, they want to stay in power for 9 years, and after 9 years, they will even contest, and after that, if the age is still in their favor, they will still want to contest. Why? Liberia is not a banana republic. It is a republic of Liberia. That constitution needs to be revisited. These are all the recipe, because you see that what they're adding, that what they're giving themselves money, because they know what is there. And that's why you see everybody wake up to wash their face. They want to be senator, they want to be representative. Maybe myself, I need to leave from behind the microphone and go contest. Yeah, then it will be okay. But on a serious note, this is something that we need to consider. Folks, have a pleasant Sunday. If I sound so a little bit over the edge here, sometimes it's annoying, the behavior of our leaders. the way they are treating our country, and they're flying all around here to see the beauty of this land, and they are unable to translate that into the country. We blame NDPL, we blame Unity Party, we blame the CDC. The next government account we blame. Is that what we want to be? That sort of vicious cycle? Somebody needs to step up to the task and be a mature and not a toddler to wear diaper, to take the bull by the horn and deliver that country. That country needs resurrection. The dishonesty, the corruption, people who never had anything yesterday for whatever reason, they have come and they have turned to be millionaire, and they have forgotten the people who get them to the end of that marathon. This is ridiculous. Until then, folks, have a pleasant evening. And let us keep praying for our nation. For those of you who still in doubt of not taking the vaccine, I want to encourage you, take the vaccine. It is good for you. It is good for our country, and it is good for the world. That virus is dangerous. Until then, have a pleasant evening.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Love is all we need to make it stick. This is the time to come together. Keep Liberia safe forever. Open up your heart, let the unity begin. Love is all we need.